in the Premier League, 3 goals in all competitions this season, and I mean, that is an incredible record. So Isidore tried to put Raya under pressure, but the Arsenal goalkeeper chipped it out of play on the far side. So it's a throw-in for Sunderland, a first chance for the long throw. Mukiele is waiting over there. This is something that we'll have to wait for, because there's a problem with, I think, one of the flags. The referee, Craig Pawson, has just had to run across to this side of the field, and the fourth official, Anthony Backhouse, has handed him a flag, and now Craig Pawson is taking it out to the far side to give it to the assistant, Matthew Wilkes. So this long throw has had some build-up. Arsenal have had plenty of time to think about this, but so have Sunderland. So Mukiele, and he can launch one, is waiting to take this. He is beginning the build-up now. Listen to the crowd wind themselves up. Then it's into the near post. Arsenal head on it. Saka jumps for it on the edge of the penalty area. Bounces down for Sunderland. Still rattles around on the edge of the box. But Arsenal, don't take the chance to clear. Although that's excellent defending from Timber against Lefay. And Lefay, helped out by the left back, Reinildo, has got it back, but then Timber has done his job, and in the end is forced to concede a throw next to the corner flag. Strong from both sides.
Yeah, it's not pretty, but Sunderland showing they're up for this fight. Really tenacious from Lefay. Tries to then do the little Cruyff turn up the line. Timber reads it, but he can't quite get the clearance, and it's an aggressive start from Sunderland.
Certainly is. And Mukiele's wasted no time, and he's come over now to the left-hand side to take this long throw, just to stride away from the corner flag. Not so much space, I don't think, over here. So in it goes. It's quite a trajectory. Headed away at the near post for Arsenal, and then bounced down where Declan Rice is going to be able to carry it away for the Premier League leaders, Arsenal, who can, if they're able to win here, become the first team to win here in the Premier League this season. They would be 9 points clear tonight. That's quite a lead, even if we are only in November. Arsenal go back to the edge of their own penalty area. Now here's Saka on the right-hand side. No Gyökeres, if you weren't listening earlier. He is out with a muscle problem, so Mikel Merino is playing up front. The emergency striker, with Havertz on the injured list still as well. Might not be too far away from coming back to training. But Merino, James, has shown that he's no slouch in that position, and actually scored 2 goals in Prague in the Champions League this week.
Yeah, well, I think technically his link-up play is better than Gyökeres, but as you say, I think he's shown, as much as he hasn't really played as a striker, I certainly hadn't before he played against Leicester last season, he's shown that he has that instinct to get in the right positions when the ball's the wide areas. His movement's, as good as a striker's, and his composure in those situations as well is very good. So yeah, an able deputy to Gyökeres and Havertz, who's missing as well, and all of a sudden, a problem which seemed to be a big one last season doesn't seem to be much of a problem this season.
Funny how it goes, isn't it? Sunderland 0, Arsenal 0. We're in the 5th minute, and now Marino's won a throw for Arsenal down the other end. So Declan Rice has come across to take this. Arsenal, lots of movement suddenly as Rice winds himself up and loops this throw into the near post, which is headed away back to Declan Rice, gets it down, actually hits it into the penalty area, and Sunderland are able to take possession. Lefay, and then it is cleared away left-footed up towards the halfway line. So yes, as Isidore's done very well and clips it forward for Traore to chase, but Calafiori went with him. In any case, Isidore just put too much on that, James, and it was through to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I mean, it's great play from Isidore just to hold off Declan Rice and get himself free. Traore makes a run off the right-hand side into the channel, then it looks like he's making his way over to the left. I think if Isidore plays that as a straight pass, then Traore's got a better chance of getting on the end of it. He lifts it in the air and it's just not the right execution.
Saliba playing the ball, long pass out towards the left-hand side. Trossard with a lovely touch actually to Calafiori. Then it comes centrally. Eza now working from his right back onto his left, gives it to Trossard. Trossard's low ball curling in towards Merino. That was defended well actually by Ballard, and then Sunderland, who had everyone back actually in their own defensive third. Isidore just headed it forward, but the referees brought play back, because I think in heading that away, Ballard has collided with Merino, who has stayed down holding the side of his head.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Ballard's maybe headed the ball off of Merino and he's caught him with his arm as Merino tries to make that run across. He just puts his arm up as protection, as all good defenders do. It catches him right in the ear, not a nice one for Marino, but I was watching as the ball goes wide to see Marino's movement. He just peels off the back of Ballard and darts to make that run across. Good striking movement again, but I have to say, excellent defending from Ballard.
Yes, it was the Northern Ireland international, big matches for Northern Ireland coming up, and Scotland, James.
Yeah.
And Wales as well, and Spain should qualify, confirm their qualification. Marino, though, might have a problem here. We can see, not from up here, we're a long way away, but we've got a screen in front of us that shows that Marino is talking away, and it seemed like a bang on the roundabout the ear to me, but obviously they're going through the concussion protocol, so we've got a lengthy stoppage.
Yeah, I mean, it's strong from Ballard. He puts his arm across and catches him just with the forearm or the elbow, just as you say, at the ear or just under it. And it's a sore one for Marino, but of course, nowadays you have to go through the protocols of, checking.
And I have to say that judging by the care and attention that's been shown here to Marino, and they've brought on another piece of equipment there as well, haven't they, just to help them with this. I am wondering if he's going to be able to continue, seems to be taking rather longer than it normally does, and it's not a clash of heads, but it was an elbow. It was the sharp end of Ballard's elbow that caught him. So it's a collision. That's all it is. I don't think there's any malice in it from Ballard.
No, it's just natural defending. When you go to head the ball, you put your arm out to almost protect yourself, but to get that leverage as well to head it. I think it's good defending. Mikel Arteta's unhappy. He's saying it's an elbow, which technically catches him with his elbow, but it's not a flailing arm. It's just a strong arm across him as the ball comes in to go and head it. And look, they need to take their time to make sure there's no damage into Marino with a head knock. And if it takes 5 minutes, and as long as he's okay, I think that's all that matters.
I have to say, I'm not sure that there was any intent. Was there from
No,
Ballard?
not from me. I think that as it comes across, as I said, a defender, when it comes across, you put your arm out to block the attacker and protect yourself, but also to get that trajectory to go and then head the ball. I think it's good defending. It's just an unfortunate one for Marino.
So he's still receiving treatment, the stand-in Arsenal striker, in the 6-yard box, and Arsenal have got a couple of men warming up, but there's no immediate indication that they are going to make this change, but this is taking a long time. So Sunderland 0, Arsenal 0. We will have lots and lots of time added on at the end of the first half. There is a choice of listening right now, by the way. The next of the autumn internationals it must be just about getting underway. England-Fiji at Twickenham with you, Sarah Orchard.
Yes, just underway. Marcus Smith playing full-back today for England has just kicked it deep to Fiji, who send it off the field. England on an 8-test winning run, Fiji on a 5-test winning run, but England the easy favourites. 0-0, 1 minute played.
Yes, and you can hear that right now on BBC Radio 5 Sports Extra on your digital radio, and of course listen to it live to Sports Extra via the BBC Sounds app with Chris Jones, Matt Dawson and Paul Grayson, our regular commentary team. So we will keep you up to date with that. Marino now has been able to walk off the pitch and is being taken right around the perimeter, and he's now almost reached the Arsenal technical area, and it would seem as though he's coming back on, James.
Yeah, well, I think it's a sore one, and obviously they have to go through the protocols for the head knock, because you need to take care of the players. But yeah, I think he'll be fine. It's a strong arm across. It's not a heavy arm that's thrown into the side of his head. It's just a strong one that comes across. Probably where it's caught him, just behind or under the ear, is a sore place to catch an elbow. I mean, there's no nice place to catch an elbow, I have to say, but certainly that is a sore one.
Gabriel hits a long pass, cheers from the Sunderland stands as it bounces way beyond Trossard and out of play for a throw into Sunderland, level with the edge of their own penalty area. So Sunderland, same team as Monday night here against Everton, when they were disappointing in the early part of the match, but came back strongly, got the 1-1 draw, which meant they remain unbeaten here in the Premier League. 1-3, drawn 2. Did lose in the Carabao Cup on penalties to Huddersfield back in August, but unbeaten over 90 minutes, and Sunderland with Roofs in goal, then Mukiele, Ballard and Hertrauda Then Hume and Reinildo are the wide defenders. Xhaka and Siddiqui in the middle. Traore and Lefay wide of top scorer Wilson Isidore. Free kick to Sunderland, halfway inside their own half, that Roofs will take. Long and left-footed to the edge of the penalty area. That's headed down and away. Effectively, Arsenal do their job and it's cleared away, and actually the referee spotted an infringement in there, and it's an Arsenal free kick. And Arsenal, who do make 3 changes from the team that started in Prague. You might have been listening on Tuesday night. Ali Bruce Ball and Pat Nevin with the 3-0 win that Arsenal had there to keep up their excellent start in that competition as well. But just 1 change from the Premier League last weekend, so with Gyökeres out, it is Marino who comes in for him. So Raya, who's got the ball at the moment, all in lemon yellow, on the edge of his penalty area, passing the ball out to Zubimendi. The back 4, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel and Calafiori. Then Zubimendi and Rice, Saka, Eza, Trossard and Marino. That's a team that kind of trips off the tongue now, doesn't it? Which shows the consistency of selection as they go back to the halfway line. This Arsenal team, as well as the goals that they've kept out, as Eza plays the ball over the top, but that would just bounce through to Roofs, who will take that down casually and pass it out to Siddiqui. All hustle and bustle, Siddiqui, and then Reinildo slips over. That's a little careless, but Siddiqui is in there to make sure Sunderland keep possession. He's being forced by Eza all the way down into his own left back position, turns, plays it centrally, and he's given it away, he's given it away to Zubimendi, and Zubimendi finds Eza now curls it in, packed penalty area, half-headed down and away by Ballard. Arsenal still putting the pressure on. Timber back to Bukayo Saka, the Arsenal captain, in the absence of the injured Odegaard, and then Timber goes back, but again Sunderland have dropped everyone back into their own defensive third, so Isidore is actually working as one of the defenders. Arsenal take Sunderland from right to left, then it comes back to Gabriel, who will use his partner Saliba, and Zubimendi drops deep. Now it's worked to the left hand side by Gabriel, and Trossard is onto this. Trossard onto his left foot, here's the curl and cross, that is a stretch, and a header away by Xhaka, still can't get it away. There might have been a free kick conceded there was by Isidore. His challenge on Gabriel, just sort of a coming together of bodies there, but he did take him out, and it's a free kick, left of centre, less than 25 yards out.
Yeah, I mean, it's the ball's cleared to the edge of the box. Gabriel's coming on to just control it. Isidore, as it comes over his head, probably loses sight of the ball and just thinks I'll jump and try and put him off. It does catch him slightly with his leg. It is a foul, but nothing more than that. It's not a heavy contact. Gabriel just making sure the ref was fully aware that it was an infringement.
Yeah, so it's a free kick to Arsenal then. Sunderland 0, Arsenal 0. If you've been out this afternoon and just got back into your car, this is BBC Radio 5 Live, and it's a free kick to Sunderland, which is it's got an angle to it, so it's not quite the same position as Declan Rice scored those 2 free kicks against Real Madrid last season, but it's not far away.
Yeah, it's maybe slightly further out, but I mean, he hit it with so much power that on that night it looked like he could have hit them from his own half and they would still win in the top corner. Still
the only 2 goals that he scored from direct free kicks, mind you, but he's going to be the man who takes this. So Arsenal have arranged a 3-man wall in front of the Sunderland wall. What have you spotted?
I'm just trying to work out how far out it is.
Yes.
26?
Yes, about that. Yes, I'm going to go with you. So Declan Rice then with the free kick strikes it goalwards, and Roofs goes down to his left and makes a rather awkward looking save, which makes me think that ball had a bit of dip on it, that he's got enough on it to push it wide and away from goal to his left and out for a throw. Yeah,
I think he can catch it. I don't think he needs to push it away. He's standing in the middle, but guessing that it's going to go to the left side. He can see it. We spoke about the distance, and it's a comfortable one for him, so I've no idea why, particularly with Arsenal and the threat from set pieces, that he goes to punch that one.
Throw-in taken. Rice, it's flicked on at the near post, but Sunderland deal with it in that absolutely packed penalty area. You can see from here this coach Régis Lebris, with his growing reputation from our very high position here you can see he's drilled them this week on defending from Arsenal's throw-ins and free kicks and corners.
Absolutely. I think that, you know, when it goes in Arsenal's half, they're really aggressive. They go man for man in the press, and they are brave. Gertrude's one of the spare men at the back, and he's kind of doing two functions. The rest are just going locking straight on. But when Arsenal then get into the Sunderland half, they're just camping in and around their box. They're narrowing up, they're forcing it into wide areas, probably feeling comfortable that if the ball comes in, they can then go and defend that cross. But certainly from these long throws and free kicks, you can guarantee they'll be on the training pitch every single day working on them.
Throw-in taken by Timber. Saka almost wriggled his way through, didn't he, into the penalty area, but he's got a touch on it, and it's been deflected behind, I think possibly off Sadiki, for what is Arsenal's first corner. So everyone knows the drill, James.
Yeah.
Arsenal 8 Premier League goals from corners this season, which is a record for the first 10 matches of a Premier League season. Everyone knows how effective they are. Saka's going to take this from the right hand side. Going to go back to Twickenham once we see this set piece taken, but keeping an eye on Saliba and Gabriel at the back post. In fact, Saka goes short to Eza, corner of the box, square from him. Then it's controlled and shot by Rice, but he mishit it, and Sunderland, hence the home cheers, have been able to block it and clear it out for a throw-in near the halfway line. So Sunderland 0, Arsenal 0. And what about the latest between England and Fiji, Sarah Orchard?
It's England 7, Fiji 0, 8 minutes played here. England have dominated possession, and at the end it was the sail hooker Luke Cowan-Dickie who powered over on the left-hand side of the uprights. Extras added by Northampton's Finn Smith. Early days here, but no Fiji attack yet. England 7, Fiji 0.
Yes, listen to that on Sports Extra. Scotland sounded as though they were in it for quite a long time against New Zealand earlier, but in the end New Zealand won 25-17, so still it's an incredible record, isn't it? Never beaten them.
I mean, that's incredible. I was listening
on the law of
down.
averages.
Yeah, I was listening on the way down, and I couldn't quite believe what I was hearing, that it's such a long time. Of course, the All Blacks, we know, are a formidable side, but to have
Even
never
so,
beaten them is quite remarkable.
And earlier, Ireland won 41-10 against Japan. England 8, Australia 30 was the final score in the third test in the Rugby League as well. Incidentally, Sunderland 0, Arsenal 0. That's James McFadden, Scotland international, played in the Premier League for Everton and Birmingham City, and also here at Sunderland. And it is the home team who are in possession. And you know, it is, even though we've had the long stoppage for that bang on the head for Marino, and he seems okay, James, which is good to see. It's pretty much the sort of match we were expecting, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, you know, Sunderland have been brave. They were aggressive in the start, and when Arsenal are in the build-up phase across the back, they are being aggressive and going man for man. Gertrude is stepping into the position that Eze's picking up, and they are trying to win it back, and when they don't, they then sit back and defend. And I don't mind that at all, because they can't just sit here for 90 minutes plus and sit on the edge of the box and almost wait to be beaten, because Arsenal, as we've seen, will find a way, whether it's from open play, whether it's long throws, set plays. They have been finding a way. So it's been a brave approach from Sunderland, and they are in this game. It's been very, very even, and the longer this goes on, the more confidence they'll get from it.
Yeah, it's a strong arm game, this one. Ball's played to Traore, right side of the box. Go on, shout the Sunderland fans, but he slips over, and so Calafiori's able to say that will do nicely. Steps in, the long-haired Italian, and is able to play it away. And then Trossard wins the throw-in for Arsenal closer to the halfway line. So 0-0 it remains. Arsenal runners-up in each of the last 3 seasons. Don't forget that. And having not won the Premier League since 2004, how the years go by. I think one thing that you have to keep referencing, although no Arsenal fan will want to hear it, is the associated pressure with that. The fact that they've come so close year after year and have not won it for such a long time. But it does feel as though this is the best chance.
Yeah, absolutely, it's the best chance. I think when you think of particularly the last 3 or 4 years, it's been, you know, not having a striker, not having someone to play off the left, not having depth in the squad, allied to the fact that Man City have been, you know, running away with it. Liverpool have been, you know, dominant, and you feel that that's always been hanging over Arsenal. This season there's no excuses. They've got a strong squad, as we're seeing today, and certainly from the start of the season. They're in a great position, so there's no excuses for Arsenal this season. They're in the position to go and win it, and they have to go and get over the line, because that is far too long for a club like Arsenal.
Yep, Mikel Arteta, it'll be 6 years next month since he took over. Going to go back to Twickenham in a moment. Arsenal just building slowly and keeping possession in the central third of the field, and really trying to squeeze the life out of Sunderland. Here's Saka, they've got 2 men on him, uses Timber's low ball towards the edge of the box. Marino comes out of the penalty area, but Sunderland are able to squirrel it back, and Lefebvre will play it all the way back to Reinildo, the Mozambique left wing back as he is in this lineup. One match in the National League is underway, 5:30 kickoff. Carlisle can go back to the top, and they're winning 1-0 at Southend. Ball played over the top, but Roofs is able to come and collect the ball. And also St Mirren winning 1-0 against Hibernian in the late kickoff in the Premiership in Scotland. 5:45 start there, a goal in the 5th minute from Marcus Fraser. Since St Mirren 1, Hibs 0. The cup finalists, St Mirren.
Yep.
And as you were saying earlier, Falkirk now 3rd in the Premiership for the time being, at least.
Yeah, it's been a strange season.
You can say that again.
And it looks like it's
long may
going to
it continue.
Yes, absolutely. It's great entertainment, unpredictable. Hearts leading the way in the league, St Mirren in the final, Falkirk newly promoted up to 3rd. Incredible.
0-0 here. Arsenal winning the ball back, and Saliba turns, plays it infield to Calafiori. Calafiori has a scamper forward, then plays it to his left to Declan Rice. Rice then finds Trossard on the left hand side. Then it comes back to Declan Rice, 25 yards out from the angle, curls it in. That's headed away by Ballard, and he's headed to his teammate Lefebvre, who's giving it away to Eza, who curls it just over the top left corner. That was an opening.
Oh, it sure was. Lefebvre trying to just pop that off to one of his teammates, gets it horribly wrong. Sunderland done well to clear it from the cross that comes in, and he does have time. He's just trying to drop that down to Siddiqui, and it drops to Eze. It's not a great effort. I don't mind it, because he knows he's not got the time and space. He's just trying to open his left foot up and bend that into the far corner. It goes high and over the middle, not troubling Roofs, but that's a little warning for Sunderland that when they win it back, they have to use the ball well.
Can't make mistakes like that. And I know Régis Lebris yesterday was making the point. Our colleague BBC Radio Newcastle's Nick Barnes was talking to him, and said that they've watched Arsenal match after match after match, and they've said they just do not make mistakes, and that was what Sunderland did there, and did not pay for it. Sunderland 0, Arsenal 0. Back to Twickenham, Sarah Orchard.
England 7, Fiji 5, 14 minutes played, and one penalty that Fiji won. They dropped it in the corner, and straight away their captain Tavita Ikanavere absolutely ripped England's defence apart to drop over the line. They like a loose game, Fiji, could go their way. England 7, Fiji 5.
And St Mirren Hibs is back to 0-0. The Fraser goal was overturned. Roofs, long pass downfield, that's headed down by Timber, who was under pressure. In fact, referee Pawson says he was being fouled, and it's a free kick to Arsenal after the challenge from Reinildo.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks like a coming together. I mean, I understand why Craig Pawson's given it, because Timber wins a header, Ronaldo's slightly late, and there is a bit of contact, but I'm not so sure how much is actually in it.
Raya, long pass from the Arsenal goalkeeper all the way through to the other end to the Sunderland goalkeeper Robin Roofs, or Robin Roofs, as the pronunciation that I was.
That's the second one's better. You should stick with that one, John.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure if I can roll my R's all evening, as it were. Here's Lefebvre, who takes the ball on from the halfway line, but he overhits the pass, and it's all the way through to Raya in goal. Still, this amazing run within all of these clean sheets. The fact that Arsenal have given up only one attempt on their goal in the last 4 Premier League matches, and I mean, that is again astonishing.
It is astonishing, especially when you look at you know, the excitement in the Arsenal sides, their attacking players, and you know, the fact that as a team they're working so hard to stop teams from having shots on target.
Mukiele caught in possession. Arsenal trying to take advantage of that, and I think they've got enough men back. Timber in the challenge, yes, and that's a foul by Timber on Lefebvre, but Sunderland were a little fortunate there, dicing with danger.
Yeah, they were. They have to be careful, and I think the manager spoke about it, not playing with emotion and stick to the game plan. The foul comes because Timber, I mean, that's a soft one as well, straight in front of the referee. Just gets it in front of the ball, turns his body around, backs into Lefebvre. I actually thought there was an arm in there, but there isn't, and Lefebvre goes down and buys the foul. But Sunderland playing with the right emotion, not getting too emotional, and I think that's massively important for them, because they're going to be tough times in this game. Absolutely, they're going to have to be defensive, they're going to have to be switched on, and when they win it, they're going to have to use the ball and make sure they don't give Arsenal any encouragement.
Sunderland 0, Arsenal 0. BBC Radio 5 Live. Lines will be open for 6:06 at half time. It's Alistair Bruce Ball and Chris Sutton tonight, and certainly if you're a Wolves fan, Middlesbrough fan, you know that is very much a forum for you this evening, so I'll let you know when the lines are open, but you can get in touch. Hashtag BBC 606 as Arsenal with Zubamendi hooks it away towards the halfway line. Then Eza is beaten in the air by Xhaka, and then a stretch by Saliba. Eza trying to get it down. Sunderland send it forward. Lefebvre is jumping against Timber. They've clashed heads, the two of them. Referee plays on. Isidore shoots right across the 6-yard box. I must say I was expecting the whistle to go there, but referee Pawson allowed play to continue, but from a tight angle. Isidore with his left foot shot right across the 6-yard box and beyond the far post.
Yeah, first of all, the game should have been stopped straight away. You could see clearly it was clash of heads. Lefebvre and Timber, both of them going for the ball. No foul in it for anyone, but both of them go down holding their heads. The referee has to stop it. But Isidore gets the other side of Saliba. I think he's trying to just flash it across goal. It goes across Raya, beyond them to the far post. But without doubt, that game should have been stopped straight away.
Yeah, to me, that, and both players are still down, incidentally, Timber and is it Lefebvre?
Yeah.
And that was a more obvious incident to stop, remember, than the Liverpool, which game was that? At Anfield. So many games.
Yeah.
When Van Dijk collided with McAllister in the centre circle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Manchester United, wasn't it?
And it's right in front of the referee, and he does look at it and allows it to go.
Yeah.
And look, that might just be the instinct, and it's a split second to make the decision, but the game should have been stopped straight away. You could see it wasn't one where one of the players is maybe trying to get the attention of the referee and more of a tactical stoppage. Both of them go and hold their heads and right in front of the referee. Should have stopped that game there.
Yeah. Snap decision though, and Craig Pawson allowed it to go, and in the end it didn't add to the
although
to the numbers.
There wouldn't have been too many complaints in here had the ball nestled in the back of the net.
There would be up there.
Yeah,
2 hours left in the top tier. They're still down a game. We're gonna, if it carries on like this, and obviously the protocols are taking place again, I think this first half is going to last about an hour. Sunderland 0, Arsenal 0. Almost half an hour played. Carlisle are now 2-0 up at Roots Hall against Southend, and it is still St Mirren 0, Hibernian 0. Chelsea Wolves tonight as well, by the way. We'll keep you up to date on that, and throughout the course of 6:06 later. Well, is this further stoppage? Let's see what Sarah Orchard has to tell from Twickenham.
Well, we're approaching the 20-minute mark here. Still England 7, Fiji 5. The early try through Luke Cowan-Dickey, the Sale hooker, then followed up just 3 minutes later by the Fiji captain, Tavita Ikanivere. It's all been about England, really, but all of a sudden, Fiji are coming to life in sparky moments that is really scaring the Twickenham crowd. You can tell they're quiet at the moment. They like it loose, and that is how they're playing. It's England 7, Fiji 5.
Thank you, Sarah. And we've got another choice of listening as well for you now, because qualifying for the Brazilian Grand Prix has just started, or indeed is about to start, and you can listen to that on Sports Extra 2, which is the one of the streams that are only available on the BBC Sounds app. And Timber is still on the ground, and he's actually having his head bandaged up. and that's not the first bang on the head he's had in the match, is it?
No, it's not, and it was almost a delayed reaction when he goes down as well. As I said, the ball's there to be won. Lefay jumps up with Timber. Lefay hits the ground straight away. Timber lands on his feet, kind of holds his head, then goes down. It's clearly, there's a cut there, but it looks like he's going to be okay to continue.
Yep.
As is Lefay.
Yes, he doesn't need the bandaging up, but a black bandage put around the top of his head, across his forehead. They've used, rather curiously, a white elastoplast to put the black bandage together, so it's got a bit of an odd look. That's not very Premier League, is it?
No, it certainly is not. They mustn't have any black tape to stop it.
Yeah. So Timber's off the field. He's been very good, hasn't he, Timber?
Yeah,
as well as the rest of them.
Yeah, he has come back from a serious injury as well. I think that you're right, as well as all of them. You speak about their defeat, their wins in a row, their clean sheets. That just tells you they're consistent. It just tells you they're all in sync, playing as a unit.
Just the one defeat this season, that late goal, that Szoboszlai goal at Anfield for Arsenal. So it is a throw into Sunderland near the halfway line. Southend have got a goal back. Southend 1, Carlisle 2 in the National League. And it was the 28th of September, the date that Arsenal last conceded a goal, but that was here in the northeast of England, over at St James's Park, when Nick Voltemade scored, but Arsenal went on to win the match. Arsenal in possession inside their own half. Timber and Lefay are back onto the field, and Sunderland win it back. Siddiqui breaks away with the ball in his orange boots down the left-hand side. He's a real little man of business. Siddiqui on his right foot curls it into the edge of the area. That's a challenge with an arm, I would have thought, by Isidore on the edge of the box on Zubimendi, and in the end the referee blows his whistle and it's a free kick, and I think he has brought it back for that challenge, a free kick to Arsenal on the edge of the area.
Yeah, I think because the header was won by Zubimendi at the near post, the referee was aware of the challenge, but then Sunderland get the ball back when it's cleared, and Marino's been down holding his foot there.
Yeah, I think that was in the aftermath of all of that. He was caught by, was it Xhaka, I think? It's been a scruffy game.
It has been, and I think that
disjointed.
It probably suits Sunderland because they're stopping Arsenal from finding any real flow or rhythm in the game.
It doesn't not suit Arsenal, though.
No,
either.
exactly. The new Arsenal, certainly. It doesn't. I mean, they're comfortable to deal with any situation.
Yes, and so the new Arsenal. I was noticing that if they're able to keep a clean sheet today, so that would be 5 league clean sheets in a row. They've not done that since the days of George Graham. Here is Marino on the right-hand side. Marino in field towards Timber. Timber then slips it forward. Nice pass to Saka, turning, red and white stripes all around him. Weaving run though into the penalty area, still going. Does get the shot in the end. It sort of sat up for him, he swung a left foot at it, but volleyed it straight at Roofs with no great power. But it is a chance, which is more than Sunderland have had on target yet. Rice brilliantly wins it back in centre field, gives it to Trossard. Trossard's low ball across, took a double deflection, back to Trossard. Trossard still going, and then tries to slip it between the legs of Xhaka on the edge of the box, and he was able to block it, and it's back to the halfway line. And there we are, James. That was Arsenal, wasn't it? Suddenly bang into action. Yeah,
it was. Saka bundling his way through to get his opportunity. Sunderland win it back. Arsenal aggressive to press and win it back, and Sunderland just couldn't get out. But Isidore now get a chance to get a hold of the ball.
Yeah, here he is, and he's been challenged by Zubimendi, 10 yards inside the Arsenal half, the Sunderland half, but nevertheless that challenge, Isidore was breaking away, and Zubimendi, yellow card, first of the match.
Yeah, and it's better, just praising Arsenal for their aggression to go and win it back and stop Sunderland from getting up the pitch. Isidore turns. He does have Traore outside him, so if he does go past Zubimendi, then it is a promising attack for Sunderland, and it's great play from Isidore. I mean, it's a tough task he's got today up against Saliba and Gabriel, but I think he's performed well in what he's had to do. He's been aggressive, he's held it up, he's fought and scrapped, and obviously had that opportunity where he very nearly put his side ahead.
0-0. Sunderland with the free kick then after the yellow card for the Arsenal man Zubimendi. Long and forward from Roofs into the penalty area. Bounces back, here's the chance! And it's in, and it's Dan Ballard! Arsenal have finally conceded a goal again! Just for the 4th time this season! And it's Sunderland, still newly back in the Premier League, who've broken this Arsenal defiance. It bounced perfectly for the big man from the back. He put his right foot through it, and it flew past Raya into the back of the Arsenal net. And it's Sunderland 1, Arsenal 0.
That's a quite magnificent goal from the big centre-half, Dan Ballard. He goes for the initial ball that comes in, he gets caught under it, but he doesn't switch off. He goes again, brushes aside Declan Rice, takes a wonderful first touch with his left foot, and then the composure when he gets in there just to smash it beyond David Raya. It's a brilliant goal from the big centre-half, scoring that like a striker.
Arsenal concede a goal for the first time since the 28th of September. And what a finish it was. I mean, it's not his most famous goal for Sunderland, but it's right up there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Remember, he scored that dramatic goal in the playoff semi-final to level things up against Coventry in the semi-final, which took Sunderland to Wembley and then eventually on to promotion. But that was one of the, if not the moment of Sunderland's season back in the Premier League so far. And the leaders are behind. And Manchester City and Liverpool supporters and all of the other would-be pursuers will be pricking up their ears. And Arsenal, unusual feeling this for them, going to have to come from behind.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that when they go through the preparation for the game, they will, speak about if they go behind, and certainly it's all right, in theory, but now they have to go and break a stubborn Sunderland side down. They haven't had great chances. Saka bundled through and pretty tame effort, you have to say. At Roofs had an opportunity from a wide free kick from Declan Rice, but not really created a great deal of chances so far.
Sunderland winning 1-0 then, and here's Timber back to Eza on the edge of the box. Sunderland dropping back into position, and we know what Sunderland are capable of. Certainly tigerish defending. Here's Calafiori now back to Gabriel. As James McFadden says, Arsenal will have dealt with this potential eventuality, and now it's up to them to find their way through this red and white wall, and also the noise that's coming down from the stands here inside the Stadium of Light on the north bank of the River Wear. Ball played forward, but Sadiki throws himself at that and deflects it out of play for a throw-in to Arsenal. And when I say would-be pursuers, James, should point out that were it to finish like this, Sunderland would be second in the table for the time being, at least, behind Arsenal.
That's incredible. I mean, you could feel it in the atmosphere here, that the roar from the crowd. It wasn't because they're happy to be here, it's because there's a real buzz and belief around this place.
Yeah, I sensed it first time I came here this season for the Aston Villa match. And now here's Trossard on the left hand side. Trossard cuts back onto his right foot, gives it back to the edge of the box. Arsenal looking for a swift response. Gabriel 30 yards out, then square to Eza, Eberici Eza, then a little dash to the edge of the area, but he uses his England teammate Saka to the right, cross onto the head of Reinildo, who heads it down and out of play for a throw-in to Arsenal. They don't go long throw this time, short one. Saka, they want the ball back in play and on the ground, and that's what he's got. Stationary ball at his feet. Saka drifts in field, but Lefebvre goes with him, so he uses Gabriel forward of the centre circle, and then to the left to Calafiori, Zubimendi, the number 36, who's been so effective in the midfield role after the departure of Thomas Partey in the summer. Then back, Gabriel swings it in, but that's a diving header away and across and out of play by Granit Xhaka, and it's a throw to Arsenal over on the far side. Back to Twickenham, Sarah Orchard.
England 7, Fiji 13, 29 minutes on the clock, and the Fijians, remember, they won here the last time they played at Twickenham, and they could be on course to do the same again if they keep up this incredible attacking style of play. Their second try coming through their fly half, Caleb Muntz. England 7, Fiji 13.
Commentary on Sports Extra. Calafiori with a long throw for Arsenal. Two Sunderland players go for it, headed away, back to the left back. Arsenal left back Calafiori barges his way into the box, and in fact barges his way illegally into the back of Hume, and it's a free kick to Sunderland inside their own penalty area, and St Mirren thought they were in front. That goal was ruled out. Now Hibernian have scored through Josh Mulligan, so St Mirren 0, Hibs 1. But well defended Sunderland, but there's a long way to go.
Yeah, there is, but I mean, the only thing louder in here today was when the goal went in. I mean, it's a weak free kick to give away from Calafiori, but as I said, every time Arsenal are on the attack and Sunderland are camped in their box, not even around it, in their box, and they're forced to go wide and go side to side and can't get that breakthrough, the more the belief and the energy lifts in this place.
Yeah, the goal coming from a free kick, a Sunderland free kick inside their own half, so another triumph for the long ball, with Sunderland leading Arsenal by 1-0 and now winning a free kick for a foul on Hume, who under pressure from Trossard, who's frustrated about it, and it's a little early for frustration to begin to creep into things for Arsenal, but Trossard is arguing his case, but it's a free kick to Sunderland.
Yeah, but you can understand why, because Sunderland so impressive and they get back in numbers, and for Arsenal you feel that they'll play the pass and they'll go around, they'll go side to side. They're not really playing that penetrating pass where they're getting beyond that Sunderland backline. It all seems to be in front, so you can understand the frustration. And also Sunderland looks so happy just to go and be aggressive going forward, but when they need to defend, they all get back and they just defend.
Yeah, Sunderland scoring with what was the 20th attempt on Arsenal's goal in the Premier League since they've let one in, and it is a throw into Sunderland just inside their own half. Reinildo down there. Sunderland, who had to dig in against Everton, could have gone 2-0 down on Monday night, but came back well into the match and got a point from that one when they didn't play terribly well. But they're on point here against the leaders. Of course they would be, and that's the other thing, of course, that you have to cope with when you are top of the Premier League, as Sunderland are, as Arsenal are, as the ball bounces back to the Sunderland goalkeeper Roofs down to our right.
Yeah, and the thing is, you know, Sunderland, the way they're going about their business, if they manage to get a result here, then it's a blueprint to go for other teams to try and, you know, copy and get that result. But there's still a long way to go, and Sunderland need to maintain the levels of concentration, the energy levels, to be that diligent defensively, but also be brave when they're going to press and try and win the ball back and keep a hold of the ball when they get it.
Throw into Arsenal. Timber takes the yellow Premier League ball as it is now. They're using the high-vis ball now that we are well into November, as they always say. I never particularly have difficulty in seeing the white ball, but anyway, as the ball bounces back to Mukiele, who turns and plays it up towards the halfway line, headed down. Zubimendi now, a little bit of space, but Siddiqui arrives in front of him, and so it goes to Timber with the headband on. Then Zubimendi again in the white boots, drags it back. Like once again, Sunderland have dropped everyone in there, and Gabriel, looking up, probably just sees a whole line of red and white striped shirts in front of him. Back to Gabriel again. Rice makes himself available way over there on the left hand side. Instead it comes back to Saliba, now out to Saka on the right hand side. Saka puts his foot on the ball, little jink from him, and then uses Saliba again. The two Arsenal central defenders have seen a great deal of the ball in these opening. Well, we're in the 45th minute now, but I suspect we're going to have somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes added on at the end of this first half. Trossard now on the left flank in the Sunderland right back area, looks to cross. Hume blocks that, blocks it back to Trossard, who I think is going to struggle to keep it in, and he wasn't able to do so. And another little win for the Sunderland supporters, who cheer it to the rafters here. And we are into added time, 9 minutes. Yeah, it might have been more.
We knew it was going to be a lot anyway. Look, Sunderland, as you said, John, perfectly, they're just so narrow and compact. There's no way through for Arsenal, so they have to go round. And when the ball goes into the wide area, if it goes to Saka, they're out. Ronaldo's out and he's aggressive. Hume's out on the other side when it's Trossard, and it's really frustrating for Arsenal because it looks like they're trying to find the perfect opportunity to put the ball into the box. And by that point, you know, Sunderland have got out, they've been aggressive, they've stopped the cross, and the attack then goes.
So Arsenal with Eza, and the Referees brought it back actually for a challenge earlier on in this particular move, and no advantage is developed, and actually he's pointing at
Granit Xhaka.
Well, I think probably most of us will have thought if there was a certainty today, it would be that Granit Xhaka would get a yellow card against his former club. I'm not sure there's an awful lot in it. He was sort of clutching at Eza.
He'll be disappointed because that means he can't get one for a tackle now.
Yeah. Free kick then for Arsenal. It is 1-0 to Sunderland. First goal that Arsenal have conceded in 9 matches. Rice curls it in high into the box, body's falling down, ball bounces down, it's only half cleared by Isidore, hit Eza, they're shouting for handball. Eza's able to see it to Saka on the right hand side. Saka just goes past Lefebvre, but then Sadiki almost inevitably is the next man in line and puts the challenge in to put it out of play. This our 3rd Premier League commentary of the day that we've brought you earlier. West Ham's important win 3-2 against Burnley. Here's Rice crossing, a little flick by Saliba, but that off his head took it right away across the penalty area and out into the full-back position. Trossard, Calafiori lifts one into the back post, Saka heads it down, and Saliba 12 yards out, swung a right leg at it and blasted it over the bar.
No, it's a huge opportunity. Deep cross to the back post. Saka is strong, just heads it down into the area, and it bounces nice for Saliba. He's in acres of space right in the middle of the goal, and he just swings his right boot at it. He's not set at all. It's always rising. He catches the ball when it's on its way up, and you can understand why, but it's definitely the finish of a centre back.
Yes, they didn't want that one falling to him, and he wasted it. So 1-0 it is. Yes, West Ham 3-2 winners over Burnley, so 2 wins in a row for West Ham. Everton 2-0 winners against Fulham, and at lunchtime an exciting finish, Tottenham 2, Manchester United 2. And at half-time in this match we're going to hear from Nuno, the West Ham manager. We'll hear from Scott Parker of Burnley, and we'll also hear from Everton's James Tarkowski. Free kick to Arsenal just inside their own half. And after an eventful day for Middlesbrough Football Club, Middlesbrough winners against Birmingham City, but Rob Edwards seemingly Wolves bound, while Coventry won at Stoke in the big match of the day in the Championship, and Coventry now have a 5-point lead over Middlesbrough. So all of the details, you'll find them on the football pages of the BBC Sport website and app. And Arsenal 1-0 down, and with questions to answer. Trossard back to the corner of the box, in it comes towards the back post, and Timber was there jumping for it, but he was beaten in the air. Comes back out to the blue shirts of Arsenal, all blue kit with the red and white trim, white numbers on the back. Zubimendi square towards Declan Rice. Rice pulls it back onto his right foot, then turns back to the left again, gives it out to Trossard, who's right out there on the left wing. He's up against Hume, still Trossard. Hume goes with him, and the two of them face one another. Trossard pulls the pass right-footed to Saliba. Already 4 minutes of the 9 of added time have been played at the end of this first half. 1 or 2 people down in front of us here on the top tier of the stand begin to move towards the exits, but Calafiori, his cross, that's blocked by a diving Traore, and it's out of play for a throw. That's taken quickly, it's lifted across by Rice to the back post, headed down, and actually the referee says he wasn't ready for the throw-in to be taken, so it's got to go back out towards the left-hand side again. Arsenal thought they were in business there, but here is the throw that is taken down. Had a touch of foul throw about that. Calafiori, hardly ever give them, James.
No, you never get. That's I'm always amazed when you see professionals, and it does look like a foul throw.
Yeah, and so Arsenal allowed to continue, and Timber to Saka. They've not had the zip, Arsenal, but Sunderland haven't allowed them to, because their organisation has been supreme, to use a Sunderland word. Here's Eza. Oh, excellent from Eza. Beats Reynaldo. Ball dragged back to the edge of the penalty area, then played back into the box by Zubimendi, but there's no one there in an Arsenal shirt. And Reynaldo can turn after being beaten all ends up by Eza. Went to ground, slipped it under him, went past him, but Sunderland survived.
Yeah, they do, and it's outstanding from Eza to get himself into space. Little nutmeg takes him into the box, and he cuts it back to Saka when he should be flashing that across goal.
Yep. Yeah, little decisions like that. haven't been quite right from Arsenal. So many things they've done so well for so long, but today, it's falling to the wrong man. Wrong decisions are being made, and they're 1-0 down.
Yeah, we praised Arsenal for how well they've played all season. They can't get everything right, but that's that moment you're waiting for Eze. He works it so well down the outside, manages to get himself into the box, a great bit of skill and a nutmeg, but then he passes it back the way to Saka, who's not like in front of him or in his vision. He's almost right behind him, instead of just then looking for someone in the middle. Merino and Trossard are in there.
Yeah, super moment though. Great piece of skill.
Beautiful.
The Mozambique nutmeg as Timber plays it back to Raya. Long clearance downfield, but a flick by Merino. That's just given possession back to Sunderland. Herr Trauder is able to come out with the ball, give it to Xhaka. Now Ballard, the goal scorer. Dan Ballard is second of the season. Remember, he scored in I think it's a famous win, wasn't it? The opening win here against West Ham when they got the 3 goals in the second half. And as I mentioned, that unforgettable goal for Sunderland supporters in the playoff semi-final last season. 1-0, Sunderland continue to lead. We've had 7 minutes, so 2 minutes of added time to go. Going to go back to Twickenham in a moment, but Sadiqi's on the ball for Sunderland on the left wing. Little footsteps from him. Then back to Xhaka, who swells it into the back post, and Calafiori underneath it just gets his head to it to glance it behind, and Sunderland have a corner for the first time in the match. I think we've got time to hear from Sarah Orchard first.
It's England 14, Fiji 13. So much has gone on, but it was a try for Faye Waboso in the corner, but also a yellow card that's gone to bunker review for Fiji for an awful challenge. 39 minutes played, England 14, Fiji 13.
So Arsenal coming here, and after the events so far of this season, knowing that they could have gone 9 points clear at the top of the Premier League, but instead they're facing the possibility of just a second defeat. Corner for Sunderland. Xhaka takes it into the near post. That's headed away straight onto the head of Declan Rice next to the post, who is able to head it down and away. Then back across to the left hand side to Lefay. Took it down brilliantly, plays it back. Mukiele with a shot, but dragged it wide. There were 2 defenders in between him and the goal, and I think he tried to pick a spot but pulled it wide of the foot of the left post by 3 or 4 feet.
Yeah, it's good play from Lefay. He takes a great touch from the switch of play down to his left hand side. Looks like he's going to cross it, just reverses it into the path of Mukiele, who steps on it the first time. I actually thought it hit Saliba. That's how bad a shot it was. He's trying to go for real power, and he ends up just tops the ball a little bit, bounces and drags it wide. But 2 chances, you have to say, for Sunderland. The first with the cross with Xhaka forcing Calafiori into the defensive action to head it behind for a corner, then getting a shot at goal as well.
5 Live from the BBC. Sunderland 1, Arsenal 0. Eza to Saka. Saka, 2 Sunderland players with him, and then 2 Sunderland players on Timber, and then the half-time whistle goes, and that Arsenal attack is snuffed out. And we have a bit of a story here. Sunderland winning 1-0 against Arsenal after the Dan Ballard goal.
Yeah, story's certainly building, and it's a bit, probably sums Arsenal's half up when the ball gets rolled back to Timber. I think Saka's expecting him just to put that into the box. He takes a touch to go out the other side. The referee blows his whistle, but they sure do. Sunderland disciplined, they've been aggressive when they've had to be, and they go and score a wonderful goal. Arsenal with that unbelievable defensive record and not conceding shots, never mind goals. A quite incredible goal from the big centre back, turned into a striker, and a top striker at that, to give Sunderland the lead. And Sunderland will be delighted with the performance. Clearly they'll be delighted with a goal in front, but the performance levels from Sunderland's been excellent. Arsenal need to find something. They need to find another gear. They need to find that bit of invention, because this is a stubborn Sunderland side. They're struggling to break down.
It is. It looks exactly what it is. The leaders coming away to the team that were 4th in the Premier League this morning and could be higher tonight. Half-time, Sunderland 1, Arsenal 0.
Half-time at Twickenham 2, Sarah Orchard.
It's England 14, Fiji 13, and what a half of rugby. After England dominated early on with a try through Luke Cowan-Dickey, it was then all about Fiji for the next half an hour. A try through their captain Taviti Ikanaveri, then Caleb Muntz, but then an awful moment where their winger Salisto Ravitumanda took out Mani Feiwo-Boso in the air. A gasp went round Twickenham. Both players were okay, but that's gone to bunker review. It could be upgraded to a 20-minute red. However, Feiwo-Boso moments later, despite that instant, goes over for a try of his own, and Finn Smith slots the conversion to put England 1 point ahead at the break. England 14, Fiji 13.
There's commentary right now on 5 Sports Extra. We'll bring you as much reaction as we can to the big football stories of the afternoon, including hearing from Nuno Espirito Santo, the West Ham manager, after the news on 5 Live with Lisa McCormick.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Steve. It's thought there's going to be a shake-up of immigration rules modelled on the Danish system, which is one of the toughest in Europe. The Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, has tasked officials with studying the country's border control and asylum practices. A woman's in a critical condition after she was stabbed in the neck in Birmingham city centre last night. Police say the attack on the woman in her 20s was unprovoked. A man in his 30s has been arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. The BBC understands that one of the 4 mistakenly released prisoners still on the run was freed under the Conservative government in March last year. 2 are known to have been released in June this year. 262 prisoners were released by mistake in the year to March. And one of the original Top Gear presenters, Quentin Wilson, has died aged 68. He later became a motoring activist, leading campaigns against fuel duty and advocating for electric cars.
I'm Matt Chorley, coming to you live from Westminster, Monday to Friday from 2 o'clock. Order! Rachel Reeves' budget will be one of the biggest moments for the government, the economy and you. So on Monday, I'm going to take you inside number 11 Downing Street to speak exclusively to the Chancellor about the pressure of balancing the books. Has it been harder than she expected? What mistakes have been made? What next for her and the country?
Matt Chorley.
Join me live from number 11 in conversation with Rachel Reeves. Monday from 2
on BBC Radio 5 Live.
This is 5 Live Sports with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Sunderland 1, Arsenal 0, half-time in the Premier League. Second half commentary on the way. Full-time, Spurs 2, Man United 2, Everton 2, Fulham 0, West Ham 3, Burnley 2. Reaction on the way. Commentary of the Sao Paulo Grand Prix qualifying is live right now on Sports Extra 2. Harry Benjamin.
Dramatic scenes in Sao Paulo. Max Verstappen has been eliminated from the first part of qualifying on pure pace. The Red Bull driver lacking grip throughout the course of a lap. He will start in 16th position. Both Red Bulls knocked out. We will not see them continue. Big question marks over how Verstappen will mount a challenge now for this world title.
West Ham came from behind to beat Burnley 3-2 in the big game at the bottom of the Premier League table. So that's back-to-back wins for Nuno Espirito Santo's side.
We are giving small steps towards the direction that I think we should improve game by game. Again today we started not so well. We had to react. The positive that we reacted in the first half and we come to the break in a draw. Then was trying to regroup and tell the boys that we need urgency in our game. And in the second half there's urgency that we needed. So improvement was there.
Now, I know you believe it's all about the players, and I understand that. But it does help when a manager makes a couple of substitutions and they both come on and score.
Oh, that's the most inspiring. Thomas and Kyle come and give us the game. It's the proof that the squad is going to be needed for all of the season. And it's not about the decisions of starting 11. It's hard to take for some of them, but they are understanding that we are in a process of trying to know each other better, and delighted today. 2 subs, 2 goals. Makes me look good, eh?
Nuno speaking to Gary Flintoff. The defeat for Burnley means they are now only outside the relegation zone on goal difference. Here's Scott Parker.
Today's really hard. I think all the words I can use today: disappointed, frustrated. I thought we came here for up to our goal. I thought we looked every bit of a top team. I thought we probed, we took the game right away from West Ham, we quietened the stadium down, and we had real quality about us. Our goal probably epitomises that in terms of getting our nose in front. After that, we fall away a little bit, and we turn the game into a bit of a basketball match, which is everything we didn't do for the first part of the game, to get our nose in front, and we quickly then turn it into this counter-attacking game, which falls into West Ham's hands, and then we switch off on a corner. And I think that's what disappoints me the most, really, because it was just poor from us, really, and it's certainly something that we need to fix that side of it, really.
Everton are back to winning ways. They beat Fulham 2-0 at the Hill Dickinson. Idrissa Gueye and Michael Keane scored the goals. Here's the thoughts of captain James Tarkowski.
Really pleasing, really pleasing. I think the margins have been close recently. We had some decent performances without really seeing games off or made costly errors, which led to getting beat, especially in the Spurs game. Today we were good in both ends. Scored some goals, a couple of disallowed for marginal offsides, and in our own box, apart from a couple of chances, dominated for most of the game. So really pleasing, because we've been close. I felt we've been really close, and today we got it right.
It's a few offside goals today. I mean, I don't know if you've played in a game with that many where you think you've scored and then you haven't, especially yours.
So I knew I was offside on mine. Jack went to cross the first one and sort of chopped it down the line, so I went on the first one and I didn't manage to get back onside, so I half sort of knew I was offside already. But yeah, close margins, but we'll put the ball in the back of the net, and that's all we can do. And another day, maybe three or four more goals.
Do you see that as a bit of a springboard for you now?
It should be. As I say, we've been pretty close. I didn't feel like we've been miles off it recently. Thought we played pretty well early in the week, and then just didn't really see the game off when we were dominating. But as I say, today we dominated both boxes really well, and hopefully that continues as when we get back from international break.
James Tarkowski with John Akers. Fulham still yet to win away in the Premier League this season then. Here's Marco Silva.
Not good enough. The first words, I think, to be more clear, and the most clear I can be with you was not good enough. Performance-wise, we have to do much better. They were always more aggressive than us, and you can feel it. You can feel the way they created most of their chances, the way they scored 2 goals. They came from the physicality of a game, or from a long throw, a corner, or from a second action after that moment when they were able to win balls, and after the second action to put the ball again inside our 18-yard box and all that stuff.
It's been tough for you away from home this season. How concerning is the away form?
Should be because it's a completely different scenario for us. If you look for the last 3 seasons, you have been very, very balanced in terms of points. All the aspects of a football match, points, goals scored, goals conceded, they have been very equal away and the tournament this season is being completely different, and we have to look for ourselves. But I think the one that concerns me more is clear this one. We have been playing games, but we have been very competitive away from home. So far this season, this one was completely different. This one clear, we got from the game what we deserve, related with our performance.
Marco Silva there with John Bennett. Middlesbrough up to second in the Championship after a 2-1 win over Birmingham. Borough without manager Rob Edwards, who's been given permission to speak to Wolves about becoming their new boss. That's a long story. Assistant Edi Vivash was in the dugout today.
We were asked by the club yesterday that everything was prepared as normal and we're ready to go. So we went out to training. We took training. Training was good. The lads were in good spirits, tried to get around them, make sure they were focused, because it's all about focusing the players. And then when I was asked by the club this morning if I'd stand up and lead, yeah, no problem. That's the reality of where we're at. I've come here to work. I've come here to try and give my experience and help. So yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster. I should enjoy a glass of red tonight.
How much of this time has been about controlling emotions?
Yeah, we spoke. That was my message to them in the meeting before the game. Control the controllables, because I've been in this type of situation where players are so desperate, and it can get a little bit around the technical area where players are shouting at players only for the good of themselves, and you go away from the game plan, away from the message. So it was control the controllables. What can you control? Try and give your best performance and try and get 3 points. And they've done that.
I think we all briefly thought we'd accidentally played Sean Dyche there, but that is Edi Vivash, Borough assistant, speaking to Rob Lowe from BBC Tees. Victory for Championship leaders Coventry. They edged past Stoke City by 1-0. Stockport stay a point clear at the top of League One despite a home defeat to Luton. Wins for both Walsall and Swindon at the top of League Two. WSL leaders Chelsea drew 1-1 with Arsenal at the Emirates. Arsenal had 2 goals ruled out in the second half, one of them very controversially. So Chelsea's unbeaten WSL record moves on to a record equalling 33 games. Here's head coach Sonia Bonpastor.
I would say frustrating to concede the goal at the end of the game, for sure. I think if you analyse the entire game, probably it's fair to say the draw is a fair result. Coming here and having a draw, it's probably not a bad result. But again, we want to win every game, and I understand this result is not the one we wanted to have. But we are early on in the season, and I think we are still in control and in a really good place. So that's fine.
The technology side of things, though, is always going to be discussed, whether it's your side or the other side.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you don't want this to be discussed, or not as much as it has been discussing after the game, I think we need to bring the technology into the women's game. I always think when we make decisions for the men's game, we have to make the same for the women's game. That's the same level of importance. I think as a manager, when you work so hard during the week and your results is pending on the referee decision on your own, I think makes things more difficult. But again, fair to say, if we have the technology in the women's game, it will be a big help for everyone.
Sonia Bonpastor speaking to Angus Patterson. In the day's other game, Aston Villa ended Manchester United's unbeaten start to the WSL season. They won by 1-0 at Lee Sports Village. 08085 909 693. Lines open for 606 with Chris Sutton and Ali Bruce Ball. Hello.
Hello, Steve. How you doing? That sounds like one for 606, doesn't it? Sonia Bonpastor talking about VAR in the women's game. Give us a call on that. In terms of the Premier League football so far today, Steve, we've only had 4 games, or 3.5 so far, but I still think there's so much to go at tonight. I mean, regardless of what happens at the Stadium of Light, would love to hear from Sunderland fans. You know, can you keep this form up? I saw them win at Chelsea, 1-0 up against Arsenal at half-time. Did you expect it to be going as well as this? In terms of that dramatic finish at Spurs, I was listening to a bit of that on 5 Live Sport earlier this afternoon. It seems to me, Steve, that when it's not going well at Spurs, particularly in the Premier League, it gets restless there, atmosphere-wise, quite quickly, which I think is quite interesting given that Thomas Frank has had less than 20 games in charge there. So I'd like to hear from the Tottenham fans on that. Manchester United fans, you're unbeaten in 5, got the late equaliser to get the point, but did you lose control of a game there? Was it 2 points dropped? I think West Ham fans would love to hear from them tonight, protesting there again today at the London Stadium. But are you happier with what you've seen on the pitch in the last couple of games under Nuno? 5th defeat in 6 games for Fulham, Steve. We were just hearing from Marco Silva there saying not good enough today. So Fulham fans concerned or confident there won't be a problem. And I think tonight, Steve, 606 is the perfect platform for Middlesbrough and Wolves fans, isn't it? Saving the best till last. So Rob Edwards there seemingly about to swap a tilt at promotion to the Premier League with Middlesbrough for a battle against relegation from it with Wolves. So both sides of that. We'll have updates on Chelsea Wolves throughout. Nothing I would rather do on a Saturday night than talk football with Chris Sutton and the lovely listeners for 90 minutes or so. The number to dial is 08085 909 693.
Lovely stuff. Ali, thank you. That's Ali Bruce Ball with Chris Sutton for 606. Once we are done at the Stadium of Light. Other stories for you. Australia beat England by 30 points to 8 to wrap up the Rugby League Ashes 3-0. Aaron Rai will take a one-shot lead into tomorrow's final round at golf's Abu Dhabi Championship. He's 20 under par ahead of European Ryder Cup hero Tommy Fleetwood and Denmark's Nikolai Højgaard. And the 6-1 shot Colonel Harry won the Grand Sefton Chase at Aintree, the first race of the season, over those famous Grand National fences. So there will be loads to get into on 606. Top of the list might be whatever happens in the second half at Sunderland. They lead Arsenal by 1-0. Let's get commentary then with James McFadden and correspondent John Murray.
Yes, thank you, Steve. It's going to be absolutely fascinating to see how and if Arsenal can get themselves out of the tricky position that they're in, James McFadden. Arsenal are out there, we're still waiting for Sunderland to come out for the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. Arsenal have been out nice and early. Quick team talk from Mikel Arteta, and they know they're in a game. If they didn't know that after the first 2 or 3 minutes, then they certainly do now. But they have to find a way to break this stubborn Sunderland side down. Sunderland, I think, been excellent, discipline, everything the manager asked for before the game. They've been that, but they've got a big second 45 to come up, because you expect there will be a reaction from Arsenal. There will be a big test coming second half, which makes it an interesting game for us, certainly, John.
Yep, that's James McFadden. Here comes Sunderland. Out onto the pitch. Last man to cross the white line, the goal scorer, Dan Ballard. What a finish that was. There wasn't going to be any stopping that by David Raya. So Sunderland playing from left to right as we look from way up here on the dressing room side of the ground of the Stadium of Light. Arsenal will kick off the second half. Eberici Eza is over the ball. Sunderland, as they started with Roofs in goal, Mukiele, Ballard, Hertrauda, Humand, Reynildo are the wide men, Xhaka and Sadiki in the middle, Traore on the right, Lefebvre on the left, and Isidore through the middle. And Arsenal also, as they started, as Eza begins the second half for Arsenal, playing it back to goalkeeper Raya. They have Raya in goal, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel and Calafiori, that familiar back four, Zubamendi and Rice, Saka, Eza, Trossard and Merino. No Gyökeres, out with a muscle injury as the ball is headed back into the Sunderland penalty area. Arsenal all in blue with the red trim down the sides, white numbers on the back, and they've won themselves an early throw in the second half. And Declan Rice is quickly over there to take it, a little bit like Roger Federer has a look at one ball, rolls it away to the ball boy and picks up another one. And Rice is going to take this long throw towards the near post, which is headed up in the air by Mukiele. Comes out for the shot from Eza, but that was blocked. I mean, there must have been 3 or 4 Sunderland players in the way of that. One of them got a touch on it, and it bounced out to the far side where Merino under pressure. Sadiki is there almost inevitably. Sadiki backheels it away, but he's given possession back to Declan Rice, who keeps it in play under pressure. Arsenal looking to start the second half strongly here. You can see that as they pour forward from right to left, but in similar measure Sunderland are looking to hold out against them. This might be the pattern, James, that we're going to see here.
Yeah, I think so. I think it certainly was the first half, and Arsenal need to find a way to break it down. I wonder if Saliba or Gabriel can join in, get a little bit higher, although they are, extremely high, but can one of them maybe go into the box? And also for Arsenal, maybe have a shot from distance. Sunderland are camping right in and right on the edge of the box, and any time it comes into the middle, they're almost expecting it to go out the other side to then have to maybe defend across. If they can get a shot, then it means that one of the Sunderland players needs to break ranks. They need to get a block on the shot, and maybe that's where the opening comes for Arsenal.
Yeah, interesting saying that rings a bell with me. I'm sure that's the kind of thing that we've been saying about Arsenal on those occasions in recent seasons where they've had a day that isn't necessarily theirs, to have a goal from distance. Here they go, working it again. Zubamendi out to the right hand side to Timber. Saka is in position near the corner of the box. He gets it back in his green boots. Saka curls it in, but that's beyond everyone. Sunderland cheers as it bounces all the way through for a goal kick, and it remains Sunderland 1, Arsenal 0. And an already quite tense looking Mikel Arteta is down on the touchline, fidgeting around, claps his hands, puts his hands in his pockets, and he's already talking to the assistant there about how long Sunderland are taking with this goal kick.
Yeah, I mean, the build-up from Arsenal, he should potentially be saying to his players to do it a little bit quicker, although what lets them down in the end is a final delivery from Saka, which we're not used to seeing. But when they move it with speed and be a bit more decisive in their movements, I still think that shot from distance, or even when that cross comes in.
Sunderland breaking away with Sadiki, takes it on into the area, tries to lay it across, but just too much on the pass to Isidore. Arsenal were able to get the block in, and then Zubamendi was there to hook it away from Sadiki, who'd continue his run, but this is bounced off Timber and has rolled behind for a Sunderland corner. And that's exactly what Régis Lebris will be looking for from his team, when you can break downfield, get a set piece.
Absolutely, and it's the panic they're causing. Isidore's a handful up there. Gabriel and Saliba, we know how good they are as a partnership individually, but he's causing them problems, and then the panic comes because Arsenal can't get the ball quite clear because Sunderland are then aggressive in their press. It's really, really good play from Sunderland.
Well, Sunderland with the corner, and this is driven to the edge of the area, straight at Saka, who's able to watch it onto his head and nod it away. That wasn't the contact that was being looked for by Lefebvre over on the far side, as Arsenal continue to press. Eza trying to chase down Roofs, and Ballard receives it from his goalkeeper. And Mukiele almost got himself into trouble. In fact, Trossard is onto this now. It is Arsenal in possession. after actually it was Herr-Trauder who lost the ball, and then Herr-Trauder racing around chasing Trossard, fouls him. Referee Pawson says play on, giving them the advantage. Shot on the turn from Zubimendi, but straight at Roofs, who's able to make a comfortable save, dropping down onto his right knee.
Oh, what's Herr-Trauder doing? He's in comfortable possession, tries a little flick, it's cut out, Trossard picks it up, and then Arsenal have an effort to go because it's a straight pass. It's a direct run from Zubimendi at the heart of the Sunderland defence, and the pass is played, a bit more speed about it. OK, the shot's tame, but it's a different approach for Arsenal.
Well, Ballard's goal in the 36th minute is only the 4th goal that Sunderland have conceded in all competitions this season. Arsenal, you will gather from that, have never been 2-0 down in a match this season. So that would be interesting. And with set-piece situations, Sunderland can't waste them like they did the last one. 1-0, Régis Lebris's team lead. Long pass forward from the back by Ballard. Calafiori's able to chest that down under no pressure. Here's Gabriel into the centre circle. And then Zubimendi, who looks up, the Spanish international, out to Timber on the right-hand side. Now Saka, Bukayo Saka moving infield. Zubimendi, that's nice, this is better from Arsenal. Timber with a cross, took a flick off Herr-Trauder's head and then is cleared away on the edge of the box by Granit Xhaka against his old club. He's already got a yellow card if you weren't listening in the first half, so there is the possibility. No, that couldn't possibly happen, could it? Not today.
Yeah, I haven't been
not today.
Too many challenges you would say in the game, and they're certainly been less and less in the modern day game.
Yeah, 33 years old now, 7 years at Arsenal. Said it was a special and emotional match for him, this Granit Xhaka, to play against Arsenal again after his years in Germany with Leverkusen. Here's Trossard on the left hand side, Trossard, and then Saka receives a left foot shot across the face of goal beyond the far post. Roofs diving, but Saka off target.
Yeah, he is, and it's better again. You know, Saka's on this left hand side, and Trossard, when he drives inside, there's a little pass. Zubimendi plays it first time, which is key, and Saka, he's going to try and strike it. He ends up getting it with the inside of his boot and bends it away. It's always going away from goal, but certainly they're finding the openings now, Arsenal. You had it on the other side, Saka driving inside, Timber going round him. It's the quick one-touch passing that gets him in behind the Sunderland defence, and I'm sure Mikel Arteta will want to see a lot more of that.
In the 5:30 kickoff in the National League, still Southend 1, Carlisle 2, and Arsenal with Calafiori going back to Raya, and still St Mirren 0, Hibs 1 in the Premiership, and England-Fiji continues on Sports Extra, the commentary from Twickenham. 1-0 to Sunderland, and already 7 minutes played in the second half, and the pressure continues to build on Arsenal to see if they're going to be able to find a way through this Sunderland defence. Sunderland, all of the money that was spent, record for a promoted club, 16 players. Timber, his cross from the right hand side, took a deflection, but the deflection carried it closer to Roofs, who was able to collect it quite easily.
Yeah, but they're certainly playing at a higher tempo, Arsenal. They're getting the movement, they're getting in beyond Sunderland. It's just that final ball that's let them down, that final action, but the more they get in there, the more likely they are to find that final pass.
As Herr-Trauder is able to carry the ball from the back and moves away from Eze, who slips and is left on the ground. The only team that Arsenal have failed to score against this season was Liverpool in the 1-0 defeat at Anfield when Szoboszlai scored the winner. Lefebvre's in danger of losing possession. He's been dispossessed by Rice. Now it's with Marino. Now it's with Saka, and Saka scores! A right foot shot beat Roofs at his near post. They lost possession, Sunderland. Lefebvre was robbed by Rice, and in a flash Saka had scored, and it's Sunderland 1, Arsenal 1, and they've found their equaliser, the leaders.
They should have, and Sunderland have been the architects of their own downfall this second half. They've been so slack in possession. It's really good pressing from Declan Rice to win it back, and then when it comes to Marino, the temptation would be to open his body and get shot away himself. He sees the run of Saka, who takes a good touch out his feet onto his right foot, fires it past Roofs at the near post. But it's all because Sunderland have been slack. Arsenal have actually looked better when Sunderland have had the ball, because it's allowed them to get that press on, it's allowed them to get the overloading bodies, and they've got the reward for it.
Yeah, and the shot somehow found a way past Roofs, diving down to his left. I mean, there can only have been a ball-shaped space for it to get through, but Roofs couldn't keep it out on the dive. It was well hit by Saka with pace, low, but Roofs, I'm sure, will feel that he should have kept it out.
Yeah, I mean, they always say that goalkeepers at the near post. I don't necessarily agree with that, but when you get into that position, particularly when it's Saka on the right foot, it looked like maybe the touch had gone slightly ahead of him, but he gets the power and precision at that near post, and you can see that, you know, the lift it's given Arsenal. They've massively upped the tempo in this second half.
So a score here on Weir's side: Sunderland 1, Arsenal 1, and also another score at Twickenham with you, Sarah Orchard.
England 21, Fiji 13. We played for 50 minutes and we had a lovely try by captain on the day, Ellis Genge, as England play Fiji at their own game. Beautiful hands to eventually go over and take control of the game. England 21, Fiji 13.
Listen to that on Sports Extra via your BBC Sounds app. Listen to qualifying for the Brazilian Grand Prix on Sports Extra 2 on your BBC Sounds app. And here, Sunderland 1, Arsenal 1. Lines open for 606 as well. Alistair Bruce Ball and Chris Sutton tonight on 08085 909 693. Calls on that number free from mobiles and landlines. And Arsenal running free now after scoring their equaliser. This is a dangerous period now for Sunderland, having conceded the goal. Arsenal are sniffing blood, metaphorically. Here is Zubamendi, gives it to Rice. Rice instrumental in the winning back of the ball from Lefay in the build-up to the Saka goal. Calafiori into the penalty area, but a foul there, and a free kick for the challenge in the box. And Sunderland have a free kick, but no let-up from Arsenal, which they can't do. They'll know, they'll have set themselves the ambition to win this match and put the pressure on Manchester City and Liverpool tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, just getting a chance to see the Saka goal again there. His touch takes it outside his body, so far outside his body that probably the only place he can put it is where it goes. It's a brilliant finish with his right foot.
It is superbly struck. That is all about preparation, isn't it? Repetition, yeah. doing that again and again and again, and now repeating it in the match situation like all good sports people do. Saka back centrally to Rice. It's Saka's 6th goal of the season, incidentally, so he's now on the same mark as Gyökeres, joint leading scorers for Arsenal. And Trossard plays the ball in brilliantly, and it is given a little touch by Marino in the middle. He played through the legs of 2 defenders there, did he?
Yeah, I don't know how he saw the run. It's a brilliant run, perfect way to pass. Zubamendi that gets on the end of it,
yeah,
just swings the left foot at it. Probably doesn't catch it the way he wants to.
Trossard's pass went through the legs of Traore, and Marino's little flick went through the legs of Ballard, but wide of the post. That would have been some goal if that had ended up in the back of the net.
Absolutely, and that's, you know, the quality that Arsenal are showing in the second half. And you know, you look at it from a Sunderland point of view, this is where they have to control their emotions. They can't go chasing it. They're still level in the game. I mean, they've lost their lead, but I think that if they manage to hold on, then it's not a bad result against a strong Arsenal side, but they have to maintain their emotional level.
Yes, they do. Sunderland 1, Arsenal 1 after Arsenal's equaliser. Ballard shooting Sunderland in front in the 36th minute, but Saka in the 54th. Throw into Sunderland on the halfway line, which has been disputed by, as I say, a rather agitated Mikel Arteta today. Throw-in taken down the line, but it hits Traore, bounces out of play, and it's Arsenal's throw. I think if that had ended up into the back of the net, that last Arsenal chance, it would have been like something out of the World Snooker Championships. 1-1 it is. Back to Twickenham, Sarah Orchard.
There's still legs in this game. England 21, Fiji 18, 54 minutes played as an absolute replica of the first Fijian try plays out in the second half. It's their captain Tavita Ikanavera who goes over again from a line-out drive. Really nicely worked, but the bomb squad has come on for England, including the likes of Tom Curry and Henry Pollock. 54 minutes on the clock. England 21, Fiji 18.
1-1 at the Stadium of Light. Trossard in possession. Trossard, as Arsenal continue to put pressure on Sunderland, but in comes the challenge by Hume to put it out of play for a throw into Arsenal down the left. St Mirren have equalised. Dan Lundaloo has made it 1-1. St Mirren 1, Hibs 1. And Arsenal with a throw. Calafiori takes it back towards the halfway line. Lines open for 606 08085 909 693. Text 85058. The lines are open, and Norwich City supporters, I'm sure, will want to talk to Chris about the departure of Liam Manning. That's just been announced by Norwich City that Liam Manning has left the club, as Arsenal continue to bin with Calafiori on the left-hand side. Calafiori turns and then gives it to Trossard. Rice. Arsenal are absolutely all over Sunderland now as Trossard plays it into the box. Calafiori, the angle's very tight, tries to pull it back, took a deflection and then bounces out, and it's taken away towards the corner flag. But again, Arsenal, Marino is there. The hunger now from Arsenal, it's so obvious. Rice plays in, took a deflection, bounces down, Eze with a shot, but it's straight at Roofs, who's able to catch it into his chest as he falls to his left.
Yeah, it's the speed from Arsenal, speed in the pass, the movement. And Sunderland, as much as they were happy to be camped in around their box in the first half, they've been moved all over the place. It seems like there's a swarm of Arsenal players around the box, and any time they manage to get a slight clearance on it, it's fallen to an Arsenal player. It bounces to Eze, he chases it, catches it well with his left foot, but it's straight at Roofs and goal. But Arsenal, they're looking more and more dangerous as this half goes on.
Sunderland 1, Arsenal 1. Yeah, Norwich City supporters, Liam Manning, after their 2-1 home defeat to Leicester today, but they've had a terrible run, Norwich, and it seemed like such a natural fit, didn't it, when he took the job it's his home city, isn't it, Norwich? But it has not lasted long. So calls to 08085 909 693 if you are a Norwich City supporter. There'll be more on the football pages of the BBC Sport website and app on the Norwich City page, obviously. Sunderland now, a rare attack in this second half. Ball played in by Lefebvre, comes back centrally now, and it's angled into the box. Isidore with a chance, but Lefebvre with a chance, but it bounces away from him as he shoots, and it was blocked by Calafiori. Back to the halfway line, and Sunderland can start again. That was a crumb of comfort for Sunderland. I'm not surprised that Régis Lebris is going to make a triple change. It feels like it needs it for Sunderland.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about Trossard's pass a minute ago. It was equally as good from Hertrauda, driving forward. Little jink, looks like he's going to take a shot on. Reverse pass into the path of Lefebvre. He just can't quite get the purchase on his shot.
So Adingra, Brobby and Calby are the three who are going to come on for Sunderland. Calby, the man who scored the late winner at Chelsea. Ball into the box for Arsenal. Calafiori on the run, Trossard's pass, and it's actually stayed in remarkably. Sadiki, sure that ball was going to bounce behind, but I don't know whether there was spin on it or what.
It's a great skill, isn't it? Yeah. He missed the ball and it still stayed in the pitch.
Yeah, and right, ball's out of play, throwing to resume. We've got less than half an hour to play, and these three changes then. So Isidore is going to be the first man off. Also Lefebvre. So two of the front three, and just waiting for the other red number on the assistant's board, and it's going to be Traore. Yes, so it is that whole of that front three for Sunderland who are replaced. And Régis Lebris just offers a hand to Bertrand Traore as he leaves the field. Sunderland 1, Arsenal 1, and if they didn't know it before, Sunderland know that they're in a right fight now for anything out of this.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's interesting because Arsenal are finding the gaps defensively from Sunderland, that they're managing to cut them open. They're managing to find those little passes inside centre backs and wing backs, and Régis Lebris is going and changed his front three. He clearly wants them to, when they win it, if they win it, to get a hold of it and cause Arsenal a different problem maybe going forward.
So 1-1 it is, and did I say that Lundaloo, that second St Mirren goal, or rather for the second time in the match, that was overturned, and now Hibs have scored through Chris Cadden, and it's St Mirren 0, Hibs 2. More VAR, fun and games, although we don't know the circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it's not like the circumstances that St Mirren have faced, because I've had plenty go against them where you certainly feel hard done by.
It's funny, isn't it, how that happens to some teams during the course of a season. Trossard has got the ball on the left flank. 25 minutes to go. Back to Rice. Rice thought about the shot, but Brobby was able to close him down, the Dutch international. Adingra out there, the other substitute on the left. Saka, though, is able to curl it in. Roos comes, gets a punch on it, and it's driven against the crossbar by Zubamendi. Comes back to Eza. Eza couldn't get the shot in. That was charged down. Roos had come out for the punch, was out of his goal. It was a crowded penalty area. Zubamendi went for goal with his right foot, and it crashed against the crossbar after he brought it down. Bounced down. Eza couldn't get the follow-up and away.
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, the cross from Saka's outstanding. Just under Marino, but forcing Roofs into action. And it's a great touch and hit from Zubamendi in the edge of the box. Gets the dip, gets the power. It's just unfortunate to see it come crashing off the bar. Drops the Eza, gets a touch and shot away, but it's well blocked in the end. But Arsenal certainly turning the screw here.
Yes, they are. Arsenal back to 1-1, and now looking to move ahead in the match as Saka is leaned into and fouled. That is a free kick by Reinildo, and Saka eventually, by the time he went down and slid, I think the free kick might be closer to the right corner, but even so, it's in a good position.
Yeah, I mean, we know Eza can hit them, we know that Declan Rice can. It's just, I mean, I don't want to say it, but it might just be too wide for the right footer to have a decent effort on goal, so I wouldn't be surprised to see this crossed into the box unless Saka steps up and fancies it. Certainly suits a left footer for a shot.
Well, they're talking about it, aren't they? Gabriel and Declan Rice and Saka, the three of them all together. If you just switched onto us on 5 Live, it's 1-1 here. Sunderland led in the first half, but Arsenal have drawn level. Arsenal, who set out today after the earlier results, if they can win this, they'll go 9 points clear ahead of tomorrow's matches, which of course include the small matter of Manchester City Liverpool. Free kick then. It's going to be Rice to take it, but I think James McFadden's right. It looks as though it's going to be a delivery, a curling delivery from Rice. Roofs comes, gets something on it, then ends up on the ground, and the referee's blown the whistle. Arsenal player down as well, but Roofs has got the free kick, although there's a bit of pushing and shoving, and Gabriel was involved in the middle of all that. You probably won't be surprised to hear it's actually Marino who jumped into the goalkeeper, which has been given as a foul. Debatable.
Yeah, I mean, extremely soft for me. Very well protected, the goalkeepers. I think that Gabriel was actually in his peacemaker. Marino was taking a bit of stick from the Sunderland players, but he's every right to go and challenge for it. Roofs decides to come, probably jumps into the space that Marino's standing in. Well, I'll tell you one thing, it certainly wasn't there where he's taking the kick from.
No, it was not. Anyway, it's still in the penalty area. We'll draw a veil over that. Sunderland 1, Arsenal 1, 08085 909 693. And it should be a busy one tonight with Alistair Bruce-Ball and Chris Sutton after Liam Manning has left his job at Norwich City, and everything that's happened with Middlesbrough and Wolves over the course of the last 24 hours. And if you've been at a match, of course, they will welcome your call on 08085 909 693. Match of the day tonight for the highlights. Kelly Cates will have Alan Shearer and Theo Walcott with her. Watch it anytime on the iPlayer. And of course, new this season, the Premier League clips and goals are on the BBC platforms to watch from 8 o'clock. Throw in for Sunderland. Mukiele, long one into the Arsenal box, and it's headed down and cleared away by Eza. Back to Mukiele, nods it down the flank. Calby is after this, but Marino gets there first, and Gabriel makes himself available and plays it towards the halfway line, where there is a challenge and indeed a foul on Hume, who knew the challenge was coming, drew it and won it, and Sunderland have got a set piece here on the right hand side. Hume's still down. While he is, we'll nip back to Twickenham and Sarah Orchard.
It's England 26, Fiji 18, 61 minutes played as Jamie George, the England hooker, went over the line after a driving maul involving most of the England team. And at the moment, Fiji, they're also down to 14 after Tuisova was sent to the bin. England 26, Fiji 18.
Listen to that right now on Sports Extra. Brazilian Grand Prix qualifying is on Sports Extra 2 on your BBC Sounds app. And a free kick to Sunderland. Hume has eventually got to his feet. Sunderland probably taking a breather here as much as anything else after the intense pressure they've been under.
Yeah, absolutely, and it gives them a chance to set this up. They obviously scored a goal from a set play. They hope to do the same again.
Yep. So Xhaka to take this. Granit Xhaka, who just adjusts the position of the ball. I'm not sure he's allowed to do that, but he's done it nevertheless. Xhaka then curls it in, left-footed, it's headed down, rattling around inside the Arsenal box, and then Marino was underneath it, volleyed it up in the air, but the whistle had gone, and it's a free kick to Arsenal.
Yeah, he's done well to unpick that free, because there's so many bodies. Sunderland are so aggressive attacking it, and Arsenal are so aggressive defending it.
Yeah, Reinildo is then challenged by Saka, and he goes tumbling off the pitch on the far side, and that's a free kick given against the mighty physical Bukayo Saka, who sent him flying. 1-1 the score. Incidentally, match of the day might be a little late tonight because it is Remembrance Sunday tomorrow, and the Royal British Legion Festival of Remembrance is on BBC One tonight at 9 o'clock, which means that match of the day will be rather later than usual. Always worth a watch, the festival from the Albert Hall, if you've got nothing else planned this evening, or indeed if you have. Sunderland 1, Arsenal 1, and there is still another Premier League match tonight. Chelsea Wolves, going to go and get the team news in a moment, but Arsenal on the attack, ball headed forward for Eza on the chase, but Roofs is able to come out and gather it on the edge of the box. So come in from Stamford Bridge, Sohail Sahi.
Yeah, good evening, John. Chelsea one change from their Premier League win over Tottenham. Liam Delap, he comes in for Malo Gusto. As for Wolves, their under-21 coach James Collins, who probably is in charge for tonight only, he makes 4 alterations from the Fulham defeat. The main highlight, John, Hwang returns to the 11.
Very good, thank you, Sohail, who will keep you up to date on that match throughout the course of 6:06 and the rest of the night. Arsenal have got a free kick in the central third of the field. Chelsea, who are back from Azerbaijan this week. Arsenal had the shorter trip to Prague. Mikel Arteta made 3 changes, but that's what you've got to do, isn't it, when you're chasing success on all fronts. The 3 changes from that match. No Gyökeres tonight, still 1-1, but still best part of 20 minutes for Arsenal to try and squeeze a win out of this, which I think is what it would be. Saka over on the far side, he's challenged by Reinildo, and this time it's Saka who goes down under the challenge of Reinildo, who's shown a yellow card for that on the Arsenal captain tonight.
Yeah, he's so tight, Reinildo on Saka, and it's an accumulation of fouls on him. You mentioned the over physical Saka a minute ago, John. I think that was just a little bit of retribution from Saka, because there have been a number of little niggly fouls from Reinildo because he's so intent in making sure that Saka doesn't get turned and able to run away from him. It's no surprise to see him going to the boot.
Arsenal subs are out, but no sign of a change yet. And as I say, into the last 20 minutes, Mikel Arteta going with the team that started the match. And Rice to take this free kick. Raises his left arm over there on the right hand side. In it comes right footed, prodded away to Eza, who's in the D. Back to Marino, his ball over the top, a stretch with the cross on the volley. Xhaka is able to get up and head it away for Sunderland, and then it bounces down. Adingra, though, it's dispossessed by Saka. Excellent work from Bukayo Saka. Rice now, corner of the area, he drags it back in a very tight area. Arsenal switch it towards the left hand side to Trossard, who actually is in quite a central area. Trossard now approaching the box. Oh, it might open up for him. It does! Oh, and he scores! Oh, that's all he needed! Trossard! For a split second, suddenly, there it was, and flash, top corner with his right foot, and Arsenal are in front here at the Stadium of Light. From 1-0 down, the leaders have dug deep, and it's Sunderland 1, Arsenal 2.
Oh, that is quite sensational from Leandro Trossard. He's been in that position a number of times throughout the evening, where he's cut inside, he's maybe played the pass or he's went for the cross, played the overlap, Calafiore runs round him and the space just opens up for him and he doesn't need another invitation. He just gets it out his feet, smashes it near post into the top corner. It is a thing of beauty, the finish, but it's great play. It's a run from Calafiore that allows the space. Siddiqui, who's been outstanding all afternoon, for some reason steps to his right hand side, which then leaves the space open, but he's still got a hell of a lot to do, Trossard, and he fires it pinpoint into the top corner, roofs across, absolutely no chance. It's a sensational finish from Trossard.
It really is. That was a rocket from Trossard. There was a delay, VAR looking at something or other, but the goal is given and that's confirmed. Sunderland 1, Arsenal 2 with just over 15 minutes to play. And as you said, James, it was just Siddiqui just moved to his left, and also it was Brian Brobby, the substitute, who was the player who was on the cover on the other side. He didn't move, and therefore that gap just opened up between the two of them from the edge of the box.
Well, as it comes, when Trossard's on the ball, Siddiqui's facing him, he's about a yard off him, and he notices the run of Calafiore and he points to say the run's there, and normally you would say you take the runner, I have the man, which he does, and for some unknown reason he just takes a little half step to his right hand side, which then just invites Trossard to step into his right foot and smash it beyond Roof. So he's got no chance. The speed in the shot means he sees it and he's scrambling and he's at full stretch, but it's beyond him before he can get anywhere near it.
Yeah, sensational. You know, we say all that, he still had to produce that finish.
Oh, absolutely.
Edge of the area.
I mean, there's one thing having the half yard of space, and the other thing to have the execution with Trossard to fire it into the top, and it's like a laser. It's an arrow straight, no bend on it, no dip, just a rocket into the top corner.
Yeah, you know, they are two excellent finishes, aren't they, from Saka, while at the same time we've said that Roofs will feel that he should have kept it out, the Saka goal, but it was brilliantly hit, and so was that one from Trossard, who has now got 4 goals this season with the game time that he's getting, with Martinelli injured, and Madueke of course can play on either side, but both on the injured list. So Trossard getting this run in the team. This is his 9th start in all competitions today. I did kind of wonder whether he might be on his move with all of the arrivals for Arsenal, but no, they gave him a new contract and he's playing his part.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that, you know, eyebrows are raised with the signings Arsenal made, because it seemed to be in areas where they were really strong anyway. But evenings like tonight is why you need that squad. It's going to be, you know, a long grueling season, and you need to have options, and certainly Trossard, he's come up with the goods there, because that is sensational. You're speaking about Saka's finish. I mean, I think that's the only place it can beat Roofs. I don't think there's any criticism of the goalkeeper. It's a really good finish, certainly with Trossard. And as you say, it's one thing having the little half yard and almost the encouragement to take the shots. It's another thing to have the execution, which he had.
Yep, Sunderland 1, Arsenal 2 then, and rather like that match when Arsenal last conceded a goal back in September at Newcastle, when they were 1-0 down and eventually came back to win it by 2-1. That's what's happening in this part of the northeast. Although Calafiore is all over Hume, and it's a free kick, and Craig Pawson is just taking his time here. And even though I think some of the Sunderland players, I mean, we might not be seeing the imaginary yellow card being shown, but certainly the question's being asked as to perhaps why that wasn't, and it's not, it's just a free kick.
Yeah, I mean, he's so tight to Hume, and when the ball's flicked on, he goes to take a swipe at it, Calafiore. He's got a little bump off of Hume, which makes him miss the ball, and then he just holds him to the ground. I mean, I suppose it's the position of where it is, it's just off the touchline.
So free kick then, Sunderland 2-1 down. Hume, lovely delivery, flick off an Arsenal head, a touch on the far side of the box. It's kept in by Adingra, who's forced out there towards the corner flag. Challenge comes in from Timber, who slips, almost takes out the corner flag itself. It's out of play only for a throw that Mukiele's already waiting to take there. He's asked for a different ball. When I mentioned Roger Federer earlier, I couldn't remember the name of the Wimbledon men's champion. Of course, it's Yannick Sinner, who came back to me now. That's old age. Here is Adingra with a throw. Taken to the boys, chance, and it's driven and stopped on the line by Raya. Herr Crowder in a crowded 6-yard box, but actually the flag's gone up. But in any case, Raya didn't know that, and his teammates are roundly congratulating for that brave save after Ballard flicked it on. Raya palmed it away, and actually, saying that, it was Brobby who was in the box who hit it on the turn, and Raya made the stop, but the flag was up.
Yeah, there's two excellent saves, because the ball just flicks off of Ballard, and then I don't know who it is, it's in front of him, a Sunderland player sticking his leg out, that might have been Herr Crowder, sticks his leg out, and Raya then needs to react. He puts it away from danger, then gets up and recovers. That's a good hit from Brobby. I know that it wouldn't have counted, but he spreads himself, and it's a brilliant double save from him in the end.
And the Sunderland supporters, I think, are suggesting that Arsenal are wasting time here. But the officials, Craig Pawson, just is satisfied that Arsenal have got the ball moving again. The leaders winning 2-1, and Sunderland man Mukiele is down and might have a problem here. Yep, the referee is quickly across. I think his attention was drawn by some of the Arsenal players, and Craig Pawson very quickly got across there and has called the medical people on to see to Mukiele, who may well have. We haven't seen it again, but it might have been one of those collisions where players have turned into one another, because I think it was after the ball had gone.
Yeah, I couldn't quite see it. I could see that he was struggling, but slightly worried at the reaction from the referee and how panicked he looked to rush over to Mukiele and get the attention onto him.
Well, he is moving, that we should point that out. They've got him lying on his back, he's got his arms up bent behind his head, and he is responding to them down there, so we'll just see what happens. So 10 minutes to go, and while the player is receiving treatment, the two managers, Mikel Arteta, I mean, he's carrying out an impromptu team talk down there on the side of the pitch. He's gathered all the Arsenal players around him in a tight circle and clapping his hands. There are orders going out, and Régis Lebris similarly is talking to 5 or 6 of the Sunderland players. So a stoppage here at the Stadium of Light. So back to Twickenham and Sarah Orchard.
It's England 31, Fiji 18, 71 minutes on the clock, and a 5th try for England that was an absolute beauty. Caught a loose ball, did Marcus Smith, hacked it on, and then the speedster that is the Bath wing, Henry Arundel, dotted down in the corner. England 31, Fiji 18.
So 31-18, that's on Sports Extra. I can tell you the news on qualifying from the Brazilian Grand Prix while Mukiele gets to his feet and is going to be helped off the field. McLaren's Landell Norris is on pole for the Grand Prix tomorrow. You'll hear it on 5 Live at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Sports Extra, actually, 5 o'clock tomorrow for the commentary. Kimi Antonelli is in second for Mercedes, and Charles Leclerc of Ferrari, 3rd place on the grid for tomorrow. Sports Extra for that. And we will bring you commentary across the various platforms on all 5 of tomorrow's Premier League matches, so we'll have all of the top football covered tomorrow. But Nottingham Forest Leeds will be here on 5 Live at 2, and then 5 Live is the place to listen to Manchester City Liverpool from 4:30. Arsenal will be 9 points ahead of them with this scoreline. I'm pleased to say that Mukiele seems all right, James. He's going to come back onto the field.
Yeah.
But Sunderland just with 10 men at the moment. The 3rd goal for Arsenal now, well into the last 10 minutes of the match. This would finish us, this would give them the points. But don't dismiss Sunderland completely yet by any means in this match. Sunderland, as Mukiele comes back onto the field, Declan Rice wasn't expecting that. He came from behind him, scampered back onto the field. Then it's played downfield. Arsenal will be unhappy about this if Sunderland go on to turn this into the back of the net. Brobby holds it up on the edge of the area. Now here is Talby skipping infield, and then back centrally as the ball comes here to the right hand side, and
Mukiele's struggling, John.
Right.
He stepped forward. I mean, I take it it's not that serious, but certainly he looks very uncomfortable. He's making his way back now, but
yeah, Yeah, it's just from a position halfway inside the Arsenal half. He's run all the way back into his own territory. They're going to give him the ball now, which they do, and he hits a pass forward straight at Declan Rice. It bounces to Sunderland though. I think Sunderland are aware of that. Ball into the middle, chance now, but it took a touch and Brobby's after it, and Raya was able to come forward, and Raya's got enough on the ball. The surge through the middle, it was Reinildo, the left back, who couldn't get a proper attempt in on goal. It bounced off him, and as Brobby tried to get there, Raya leapt on it brilliantly, bravely, made the save, and he's actually injured his arm in the process.
Yeah, he did. It's a wonderful cross. I'm sure Brobby's the target, but it's a great run from Ronaldo, and I actually felt that he could maybe take it first time, but understand the position he plays. He's left footed, it's on his right foot. I understand that. He takes a touch, and it is brave from Raya to get down and pick the ball up. Brobby coming in, diving at his feet, but that's a wonderful cross, and it's half a chance for Sunderland.
It was. In actual fact, I think probably the best chance they've had in the second half. I mean, they had the incident when Brobby had the shot that was saved, but that would have been offside. If they put that in the net, that would have counted. And
you were speaking earlier saying that Arsenal feel they need to get that third goal, because Sunderland have shown they can be dangerous. As you say, they've not been creating chance after chance, but certainly from set plays, that's another little warning for them. So it's about managing the game for Arsenal at this point.
Lines are open for 606 08 08 5909 693 to talk to Alistair Bruce Ball and Chris Sutton tonight. Still, Mikel Arteta has not made a substitution, and we are in the 86th minute. Timber forward to Saka, and Sunderland are able to recapture the ball. Hertrauda just turns away from Eza, still not out of their own half, comes back to Granit Xhaka. Xhaka thinking about the long pass. In fact, it's a shorter one to Hertrauda, and now on the left hand side Adingra. Adingra has got the option of Talby, still going though. Adingra moving infield, and then the pass centrally to Siddiqui, who eventually got it under control. Sunderland now threatening, ball in from the left hand side, but untroubled Saliba is able to drop to his knees and head it away from the penalty area. Sunderland come again, roared on by the red and white crowd here. Again with the ball on the left hand side, it is Adingra. Adingra gets the cross in, but Saliba for Arsenal underneath that to head it away and out of play for a throw to Sunderland down the left.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a nervy end for Arsenal. Is it just giving the ball away cheaply? You hear the crowd in here willing their team to go forward and get that equaliser.
So it's Hertrauda who's coming up. I was thinking it might be Mukiele, but instead it's Mayenda. He's throwing another striker on. Eliezer Mayenda, the man who scored the first goal back in the Premier League, scored in the playoff final. The number 12, Regis Lebris, seizing the moment here, feeling there might be a chance to get something out of this for Sunderland, with the leaders 2-1 up. Long throw that is waiting to be taken. We are going to see an Arsenal change in a moment. Mosquera's going to come on for them. In fact, they are going to do it now. Well, it tells its own story, this, that Sunderland take off Hertrauda and bring on Mayenda, whereas Arsenal take off Eza and bring on defender Mosquera.
Yeah, well, and it's understandable. Sunderland are going to throw everything at it, and Arsenal don't need to go chasing anything. They just need to see the game out. They just need to defend. And as you say, extra body up there for Sunderland means an extra body in there for Arsenal as well.
Here's the long throw for Sunderland into the Arsenal box, which is headed away back out towards the left hand side where Adingra is battling for it. Actually, Arsenal could be away on the counter attack through Saka. It's played forward. Rice is furthest forward now for Arsenal. Saka continues his run. Red and white shirts getting back out to the right hand side to Saka. Saka still going against Xhaka, and Granit Xhaka against Saka is able to make the challenge and come out with it. Excellent play from the Sunderland captain against the Arsenal captain.
Yeah, it was a great recovery from Sunderland as a team. Xhaka just slowing Saka down. He didn't have too many options, to be honest. Rice and Saka on a furrow forward, and the rest of the team are just thinking, on you go, try and keep the ball up there, we'll have a little rest and see the game out. The longer you keep it there, the better.
Well, it's been a It's been a really interesting one, hasn't it? It's something a little bit different, this, it's felt like to me. With Sunderland going so well, but facing what would be their first home defeat back in the Premier League. Although no shame if it's to come in these circumstances narrowly against the clear leaders. Back to Twickenham, Sarah Orchard.
77 minutes played, England 38, Fiji 18, as regular captain Mauro Toja, who's been on the pitch less than 10 minutes, has flopped over for England's 6th try. The game is now safe with just 2 and a bit minutes left on the clock. England 38, Fiji 18.
Yeah, this is not safe yet, and Brobby feels that he was fouled by Gabriel as Arsenal go for goal from the halfway line with Declan Rice, but that drifts wide. Well, the ball ran free centre field. Brobby was running back towards it, and Gabriel may well, possibly behind the referee's back, have brought Brobby down.
I'll tell you, I would have loved to have seen that hit the back of the net because the technique of Declan Rice, but I feel that it would then have been ruled out because that looked like a foul to me. On Brobby. Really aggressive defending. I think there was a foul in there, so maybe just as well for Declan Rice that he didn't find the back of the net.
Well, in the St Mirren Hibs game, as we mentioned, 2 St Mirren goals have been overturned by VAR, and now Hibernian have got a 3rd goal. Miguel Chaiwa has made it St Mirren 0, Hibs 3. 7 minutes of added time then here at the Stadium of Light, so there's certainly time for another one yet. Long ball pumped forward for Sunderland. Shouts that it might have been a corner, but Mukiele, I think, did get the final touch, and it's behind for a goal kick to the Premier League leaders Arsenal, who could make it here. 11 wins in a row. It'll be their 6th Premier League win in a row, and I think you don't need to be a genius to work out that Mikel Arteta and everyone at Arsenal would quite like a point apiece tomorrow between Manchester City and Liverpool.
Oh, absolutely. I said before the game, though, most important thing for Arsenal is getting the job done here tonight.
Yes,
and then they can enjoy the game tomorrow, regardless of what happens.
We'll try and bring you Mikel Arteta live during the course of 6:06. Brobby now jumping in the challenge with Mosquera, the Arsenal substitute, and that is a free kick. And this will enrage the home fans because Arsenal will take this to the absolute limit. However, 7 minutes of added time. Lines open for 6:06, 08 085 909 693. Gabriel Aintza, a new part of Mikel Arteta's coaching staff this season, has just come forward very casually, hands in his pockets, to have a word or two with Mikel Arteta. If they win the league after he's joined the coaching staff, that's not bad, is it?
Yeah.
Cleared away by Sunderland, but it bounces back into their own penalty area to Roofs, who quickly sort of sidearms it out. Hume with a pass. That's controlled by Talby. Talby then sets away the pass through the middle to Xhaka. Out to Adingra on the left-hand side. Adingra's cross towards the back post. That's headed down and away for Arsenal by Calafiori. Well defended by the left back. Sunderland start again. Still 5 minutes of added time to play here. Arsenal leading by 2-1. Reynildo just allows it to run for Sadiki, and then Xhaka, who's the furthest one back. So the 2 central defenders are still up there. Now it's out to Adingra on the left-hand side. Trickery from Adingra. His crossfield pass. Xhaka now in possession. Xhaka plays it forward towards the edge of the box on the left-hand side with Talby, who's over there on the other flank. Then it comes back to Xhaka. They want him to shoot. Did score his first goal for Sunderland the other night. Across it comes from the left instead, from Reynildo. Back to Xhaka. He heads it down here to Sadiki. Then square to Xhaka again, who wasn't tempted from 35 yards. I thought he might have been. And then via a deflection, it comes back for the ball, right-footed in from Hume. Glanced on and prodded into the net by Brobby. Arsenal are saying there might have been a foul. Maybe a handball. But it's 2-2 unless VAR intervenes. But Brobby, the substitute, has hauled Sunderland back into this in added time. and possibly preserve their unbeaten home record back in the Premier League against the leaders. Sunderland 2, Arsenal 2, unless VAR steps in.
Yeah, I mean, the noise, the reaction to the fans in here, absolutely incredible. You spoke about Arsenal and managing the game and dealing with Sunderland because you knew they'd get a lift, particularly being at home. And I'm not sure, to be honest, what they're claiming for.
Oh, 2 challenges, but if anything, the first looked as though it was a foul on Ballard rather than a foul on an Arsenal player. And the question is whether Brobby, who had a handful of Gabriel's shirt, we can now see, we've got a replay there, as he's battling for it on the stretch, the ball dropping to him, Raya, the goalkeeper, coming out, he gets a foot to it.
This has to stand, and it does. Because when the ball comes in, John, Ballard is getting manhandled. He does really well to get the header on it, and then when it comes in, Saliba, is it Gabriel that's got a hold of Brobby's shirt as much as Brobby's a hold of Gabriel's shirt, and then when he flicks it into the back of the net, there's a bit of contact with Raya, but if anything, he comes into Brobby. That's the right decision, and this place has erupted. I wonder if they believe they can go and get a winner now.
What a noise there was when that was confirmed. Sunderland 2, Arsenal 2, and still we've got 2 minutes to play. To Twickenham though, Sarah Orchard.
Full-time England 38, Fiji 18, 6 tries for England on the day, now 9 tests in a row for Steve Borthwick's men that they've now won. Next week, all eyes on New Zealand, who await.
So play does resume here with 2 minutes to go. There might be a little more than that added on. Brian Brobby, who's just scored his first goal for Sunderland to make it 2-2 against the leaders. And what an atmosphere there now is inside the Stadium of Light. I'm not sure how many believed that they were going to be able to come from behind against Arsenal, but they've done just that. And they've become the first team, Sunderland, to score 2 goals in a match this season against Arsenal. But Arsenal aren't finished. Trossard across, then Zubimendi, back to Saliba, and out to Saka. Right-footed ball dangerously into the back post. Calafiori with a header. It bounces down. Chance for Marino. That's blocked in the 6-yard box, and it's blocked wide and behind for a corner. Big chance. Big chance that Sunderland survive.
I'll tell you what, the save from Roofs is outstanding. He spreads himself. The ball's clipped to the back post. Calafiori gets on the end of it, but the block from Dan Ballard. It looks like it's going to be a certain goal for Marino. He gets himself in front of it. What an end to the game we're having.
Saved by Roofs, block by Ballard. Corner though to Arsenal, right at the end. We are in the 7th minute of added time. Sunderland equalised in the 5th. Saka to take this corner. Arsenal players grouped beyond the far post. Saka needing the perfect delivery. Left-footed. Swings it into the back post. Trossard heads it across. Sunderland are able to clear it away. Oh, Rice slips but just recovers against Talby, who nearly nicked it away from him. Rice again on the halfway line, could only hike it out for a throw. And Sunderland are thinking here that they might be able to snatch a winning goal. They wanted to take a quick throw, and I think Regis Lebris down there, the calmest man in the house, has just said, hang on a minute, we've just made it 2-2 against Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, you can understand it. The place in here is absolutely electric, and it looked like Talby was going to capitalise on a slip from Declan Rice, but Regis Lebris just reminding his players that, listen, it's a decent result, it's a very good result actually if they can keep a hold of it. Don't go and overexpose yourself and give Arsenal any encouragement to go and find that winner.
Yeah, well, it's all down now to how much Craig Pawson's adding on. We're way beyond the 7 minutes. Arsenal take the free kick way downfield. This is for Saka to chase, and then Adingra gets involved. Can only be seconds left. Sunderland clear it to the halfway line. Arsenal, it seems, are going to be denied what would have been an 11th win in a row by Sunderland. One of the revelations of the season. New back in the Premier League this season and making real waves. Rice though plays it in, glancing header across the box, but straight into the gloves of Roofs, who's able to step forward, clutch that ball, that high vis ball. Just as well it's high vis, otherwise he might not have seen it. Roofs then delivers this downfield. There is the final whistle. Well, that's been quite a match. I did bill it, slightly tongue-in-cheek, as possibly one of the matches of the season. But listen, it was fourth against first this morning, and that has been excellent entertainment, 2-2.
Yeah, outstanding entertainment, you have to say. I mean, you're looking at two teams that are very good defensively, and you're hoping that you get goals, but maybe it is more than hope. But plenty of goals, plenty of excitement, a real, gritty performance from Sunderland. Excellent first half, not so good the second half. Arsenal took real control in the game, and it looked like Arsenal were going to show exactly why everybody fancies them, why they are where they are at the top of the league, extend their lead, and why everyone's saying it's theirs to throw away, because that's what you do, you find a way to win. But Sunderland had other ideas, threat from set plays, two really good goals they scored, you have to say. And what a game, it's absolutely flown in the game, considering the amount of injury time that's been played in the game, the amount of stoppages. A fantastic game, and the place in here is absolutely bouncing. They're delighted with what they're witnessing here at Sunderland.
Yeah, lovely buzz is all around the Stadium of Light. I think everyone here has enjoyed the spectacle, and that means after what is their first away draw of the season, Arsenal, so the 10-match winning run is over. That's the end of that, and also the run without a clean sheet, as Sunderland become the first team to score 2 goals in a match against them this season. But it's a 7-point lead, so first, James, on Arsenal, 7-point lead going into the final international window of the year. That's a strong position. Yeah, it is, and I think that, when you look at games in isolation, you can then start to pick it apart. But I think the bigger picture is here, Arsenal are clear at the top of the league, and they're showing form that suggests that will continue. I know they've dropped 2 points, but they would have absolutely taken that at the start of the season to be in this position. They can go and watch the game tomorrow. One or both of those sides are going to drop points for Arsenal, so it could look slightly better depending on which way that game goes. But Mikel Arteta at the start of the season would have taken it, absolutely. And a quick word on Sunderland, that's 19 points from 11 matches. Now I know only fools rush in, I've just heard that, but there must be a very high percentage chance of them being in the Premier League next season.
For me, without a doubt, I think they've shown enough. I'm only watching them, judging them on one game, but they have a belief and a togetherness as a team. They defended well in the first half. They had to, up against the team that's running away with it at the minute, and they found a way. They made subs that were positive, that impacted the game, and they managed to get a result from an unlikely position. Speaking about Arsenal, first time they conceded 2 goals. They've been defensively rock solid all season, so to find the net twice against them, and it's not a win, but you can feel it round here, John. There's real belief. These fans are loving coming to support their team, and what their team are giving them on the pitch is something really, really special for Sunderland, given where they've been over the last number of years. And yeah, look, obviously they're going to look and say, get to the points level and secure safety. Sunderland should be looking up the way in the league and trying to finish much higher above just being safe. And I think they've made a real positive impact in the league this season, and they will get better as well. So good time for Sunderland at the minute.
James McFadden, thank you very much for your company. Lines open for 606 08 085 909 693. If you didn't hear it, England 38-18 winners against Fiji. Some more.
Let's stop there. Being a soldier, it's exciting. You already know that. What you want to know is, what's in it for me? I wanted to learn leadership skills from the experts.
I want to get paid to earn qualifications.
I wanted more confidence. And now look, I'm on the radio.
Discover That's what was in it for me. Get skills, get qualified, get confident. Army, recruiting now, search Army jobs.
Bellegarde and Wang off Strand Larsen up front. On the Chelsea bench, Jurgensen, Tosin, James, Achiampong and Harto, Andre Santos, Giddins, Estevao and Mark Guiu. For Wolves, Jose Sarr, Wolfer, Mosquera, Manetzi and Hoover, Chirewa, Arias and Arakadare And the beauty of having your under-21 boss pick the teams, the opportunity it gives for youngsters. So there's also a place for 18-year-old striker Mateus Mane. Tonight's referee is Andrew Kitchen, who takes charge of just his 3rd Premier League game.
Wonderful stuff. Thank you very much, Jim. Former West Ham, Newcastle, Crystal Palace manager Alan Pardew's alongside us here at Stamford Bridge. A popular man as we walked in. Tried to disguise yourself with your baseball cap. Didn't quite work for you.
Not really, no. But look, good evening to you, Fan. Good evening to everybody. Yeah, it's always a pleasure to come down to King's Road on a Saturday night. But I didn't expect to come to a game of this magnitude.
No, it's become huge all of a sudden, hasn't it? And look, before we dig into the team news, I mentioned all the teams that you've managed previously, but you've also been caretaker or interim manager, if you like, as well. And James Collins has had to stand in more than once at Wolves, hasn't he? Well, what is it actually like being in that position?
Well, it's not comfortable because, you know, you kind of know, and in particular with the press this week about Edwards, he will know that Edwards is coming in. But it kind of gives him a free run at it. You know, there's no real pressure on you. I didn't feel it as the caretaker manager. The players are kind of a bit more freer because there's not the pressure of the manager being the man. So I think they'll play with a little bit more freedom tonight. They're going to have to, because I was at Fulham last week and they were terrible. So the only way really is up. I'm surprised Edwards is going to take it. I think it's a tough call, this, because this team looks short of quality, and the character of the team is going to have to be shown tonight to give Edwards any kind of chance given the division.
Yeah, without a doubt. Difficult for Rob Edwards, I think, but difficult for the Middlesbrough fans as well. They've got a win today in the Championship, which is a relief for them, no doubt, bearing in mind all the question marks surrounding the team at the minute, because Middlesbrough did give permission to Rob Edwards to speak to Wolves, although they did mention in their statement that they were disappointed with his decision to want to speak to Wolverhampton. But you know, he's a former player from that team. He's managed some of the youth teams as well, and he's from that area. He knows the area really well, so I can understand why he would want to do that. But from a Borough point of view, very difficult. And of course, this is a Wolves side in massive decline, as we said. But let's hear from the man who is in the dugout this evening, the Wolves interim boss, James Collins, who's been speaking on how he's prepared for this game under such short notice.
Like I would prepare for any game that I play. Watch the opponent, try and find strengths and weaknesses of the opponent and how we can counteract that. Mixed with that, looking at our group and seeing what our strengths are and how we can cause the opponent problems. Then trying to help them with the lack of confidence that maybe they've been suffering, because it's hard when you're losing games of football. That's the gist of it, really.
And they lost a recent one as well against Chelsea. It was a bit of a thriller, actually. 4-3 it finished for Chelsea at Molineux in the Carabao Cup fourth round, Alan. I'm not sure whether we're quite going to get that same kind of game tonight. I was listening to Jason Cundy earlier on the game day phone-in, and he said, you know, Wolves playing essentially five at the back. Chelsea don't do very well against five at the back, and he's always wanted Enzo Maresca, the Chelsea boss, hasn't he, to rotate at the moment, which he has to, bearing in mind the competitions that they're in, the centre-backs, bearing in mind the injuries that they have at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, if you was to look at Wolves, you know, James Collins just come on there talking about what his game plan is tonight, that he's watched the opposition, etc. If you'd have watched Wolves last week, and you as the Chelsea manager, I would just leave my two wide players up the pitch. And I know that sounds a bit strange, but when you got three at the back, it will just pin the wing backs back. Mourinho used to do it a lot, particularly that year when they were probably one of their better teams, when Duff and Robin were the wide players. Sometimes he'd just leave them up the top of the pitch at home, and they wouldn't retreat. And I think that's the way to play Wolves tonight. I would really have a go at this team, because at the back they've had another couple of changes tonight. There's no cohesion there, so Chelsea really need to test them tonight. So I would say handbrake off, top gear, let's have a go.
Yeah, well, I wonder what it's done to the odds. Let's find out, shall we? Kickoff around 15 minutes away. It is time to get the latest odds from Betfair.
Odds update on TalkSport with Betfair. Play in a different league this season with Safe Sum from Betfair. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Sam Rosbottom, tell me first and foremost, before we get the odds on this game, about the charity bet earlier on. Big money one for the Bobby Moore Fund.
Yeah, absolutely smashing it again, Adrian Durham. That's two charity bet winners
in as many weeks. Massive congratulations to Adrian. £729 landed thanks to the charity treble of Everton to win, West Ham to win, and Sunderland and Arsenal to be a draw. Sunderland left it late, didn't they? All those Arsenal backers, though, they'll still be happy, because if they backed it with Betfair's match odds 90 markets, then we paid out on the Arsenal win as well. But a fantastic win again for the charity bet. That is now £2,548 in the charity pot for the Bobby Moore Fund, which is more than we raised last season. So massive congratulations to Adrian there. Looking at this one, Faye, no surprise, Chelsea massive favourites in this. Looking at those match odds 90 markets, they're as short as 1-3. The draw currently 100-30. Wolves just got 2 points from the last 10 league games. It doesn't get any easier this evening, does it? Only won one of their 11 Premier League games at Stamford Bridge. They're 13-2 to win tonight. Looking at another quick market that's caught my eye, Pedro Neto, 2 shots on target. That's landed in his last 2 league games. He's 5-2 to do the same this evening. In fact, if you combine that with a Chelsea win and over 2.5 goals in the game, that comes out at just over 4-1 when all combined in a bet builder. And don't forget as well, shots on target market, just one of the many covered by Betfair's safe sub. If your player comes off, it rolls on to the oncoming player, so your bet is still on. But should be an interesting one, and Chelsea the overwhelming favourites to win.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much, Sam. Thanks to Sam. That's all thanks to Betway. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Odds update on TalkSport with Betfair. Play in a different league this season with Safe Sum from Betfair. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Right, we're just over 10 minutes to kick off. The big 3 points up for grabs here at Stamford Bridge. Managerless Wolves looking to pull off a shot off the weekend against Champions League chasing Chelsea. It's coming up live here on TalkSport next.
Game day exclusive on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Stream a massive month of sport this November on Sky Sports with a Now month membership. 18+, stream via internet, terms apply.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Sipping a morning coffee out on the terrace. Good morning, Mr. Squirrel.
Morning.
The kids building a tree, playing on the lawn.
We're playing real-life football.
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
It's another day at Screwfix, and so Mo Farah is still getting to grips with things.
So, Mo, with Sprint Delivery, we get the order to them in as little as 20 minutes. Oh, Mo?
Mo? Done. He was on the 18th floor.
Nice work. But, you know we use delivery riders, right?
Oh, now you tell me.
Sprint it in as little as 20 minutes. Screwfix. No stopping you. Conditions and geographical restrictions apply.
Incredible scenes here at the Village Hotel's Pub and Grill. Fans are taking their place in the fan zone with stadium-style seating, amazing views on huge screens, and we're underway. Lovely bit of dribbling there as she tackles the burger stack. Now they're getting down the wings. Sticky barbecue. Unbelievable. Oh, and he's hit the bar. And it's there! His favourite ice-cold beer. What a result! Catch every game live in the Pub and Grill at Village. Get in! Find out more at villagehotels.com.
The season's in full swing and it's action-packed. Make sure you're all over it with the Sun's free pull-out goals! With expert opinion and tactical analysis, you get it all with goals! And with unrivaled news from the Premier League to League Two, it has to be goals! Stay up to date on all the latest football action. Get your free copy of Goals every Saturday, Sunday and Monday, only in the Sun.
He's having a blinder. He's clipped the post. He's looking formidable. Then... substitution. His game might be over, but yours isn't. With Betfair's Safe Sub, your bet simply rolls onto the player coming on. Playing a different league with Betfair.
Valid on selected leagues and markets only. Applies to singles, multiples and bet builder bets on qualified player outcome selections. Does not apply to odds boosts. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18+, gambleaware.org.